2 for the high. No question the days are getting longer. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, mid-40s for evening plans, a cold 28 overnight. Tuesday, sunny and 52. Increasing clouds Tuesday night, and Wednesday, partly to mostly cloudy, but I think Wednesday is dry and 58 degrees. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Threatening more attacks, with a spokesperson saying the aggression won't go unanswered and that escalation will be met with escalation. U.S. forces remain on high alert across the region, bracing for a possible response to those strikes and the targeting of Iran-backed positions in Iraq and Syria on Friday.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv as Secretary of State Antony Blinken visits the region again, joining the push for another ceasefire for hostages deal between Israel and Hamas. A retired firefighter remembered for standing next to then-President George W. Bush after 9/11 has died. Bob Beckwith was 91. In 2001, he was already retired from the New York City Fire Department when he raced to Ground Zero to offer help in the search for survivors. He ended up standing on a mound of debris next to President Bush during his bullhorn speech. The former president just releasing a statement praising Beckwith as a courageous patriot and humble man, saying he was proud to keep in touch with him over the years and offering condolences to his family. President Biden urging passage of a security package, including tougher asylum rules unveiled by Senate negotiators, but some Republicans oppose it, saying it won't secure the border.
It is a terrible bill. It is a terrible idea, but frankly, I'm glad the Senate is finally working their way up towards a counteroffer.
Ohio Congressman Warren Davidson among the Republicans who favor a border bill passed by the House last year that Democrats have called extreme. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, you're up next.
My throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Please welcome to the stage.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up?
I'm tired of feeling so bloated.
That used to be me. Then I got this.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right?
Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Get $5 off at alignprobiotics.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Nice to see a little added sunshine going through our Monday afternoon. Plenty of sunshine for the rest of the day. 52 for the high. No question the days are getting longer. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, mid-40s for evening plans, a cold 28 overnight. Tuesday, sunny and 52. Increasing clouds Tuesday night, and Wednesday, partly to mostly cloudy, but I think Wednesday is dry and 58 degrees. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hey, Mark Cox here. I recently learned something new from St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. She told me the number of all-cash home sales is at the highest level since 2011. Makes sense. Gloria knows that today home sellers have options outside of a real estate agent or an auction company, and that a cash offer may be the best solution. Unlike a local investor or a real estate agent that gives you just one option, Gloria Liu is able to provide multiple cash offers quickly by visiting her website. You also get a guaranteed offer from one of her motivated buyers in waiting. So if you'd like to receive multiple cash offers on your home quickly, visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. You can sell as is without having to make any costly repair and choose your closing date. Get multiple cash offers for your home today at GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original overhead door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Maria, get this. The area where we have occupied this park in Eagle Pass, Texas, that we put up the razor wire, there used to be 3,000 or 4,000 people crossing that area a day. For the past 3 days, we've averaged just 3 people crossing that area. The point is, if we put up resistance, we show that we can secure the border. Joe Biden should not be stopping that.
Texas Governor Abbott talking about the success they're having with Operation Lone Star. That's a good name for what they're doing in Texas right now to try to curb some of the flooding of people who are coming into that state and doing it on their own. At least the states are doing it on their own. Man, if you ever wanted to know what it looked like to be the United States of America, we're starting to see it a lot more now than we have in the past when you have governors from red states. I would invite blue states. I would think that there would be some blue states who would see the advantage of what these border states, red states, governors are doing right now, because the blue states are the ones who are having the influx of the problems with the people being bussed into them. There is New York City, Chicago. We've seen it across the country where when you take a bus of people and you flood them in there, do you remember what the first images were? You remember what the first message was when all of a sudden these red state governors, Ron DeSantis included, said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to send them to you. You said you wanted them. You haven't acted like this problem on our southern border has anything to do with you. We're going to make it your problem. They got to go somewhere. You think that they should just have to stay in those border areas? Because that's definitely not what these migrants are doing, because the federal government itself was shipping people across the country. I remember long before Governor Abbott sent buses to New York City or Ron DeSantis sent buses to Martha's Vineyards or Plains or whatever. I remember long before that. Brad, do you remember when they were like in the dead of night, there were migrants pulling into no-name places?
Yeah. The videos were at airports of small planes unloading migrants at like 3 a.m. at these little unknown airports. And the video you can tell is being shot from behind a fence where you can't get close and see what's going on. So it's like they were doing this secretly is what the feeling you got from that. And I just remember all of that. I also remember whenever DeSantis and Abbott started doing this, I remember the screams of human trafficking. They're trafficking people
Yeah.
And it's like, the Biden administration's been doing this for months now.
Just taking a page
Yeah.
out of the book of the administration. And when the the Biden administration was doing this, they were sending them to Nowheresville. They were going to places that were not massive cities that had made a very, very bold political statement about wanting to provide sanctuary for people who needed a safe place to go. Governor J.B. Pritzker and Mayor Johnson in Chicago, they have asked for this. They may not have realized that it would materialize in actual human people coming to take sanctuary in their city and in their state. They may not have thought that far ahead, or maybe they just thought, we'll scratch his back, they'll scratch ours. We'll be a sanctuary state. And yes, I do know that Governor Rauner is the one who sent us down this ridiculous careening abyss, and that's why he got sent packing in the first 14 seconds of the election in 2018. He was toast, and he deserved it. How do these blue cities and these blue states not look at what's going on with these red state governors coalescing around Governor Abbott and say, yeah, we're going to have to support it? I know we've had many conversations with Jim Carafano before where he says what you see versus what is actually talked about and discussed behind closed doors when there's no political capital to be spent on a guy like J.B. Pritzker or Mayor Johnson or Governor Hochul, who's even said with these people who assaulted these officers last week, send them back. Especially if they're going to hurt our police officers, send them back. It shouldn't just have to be hurting our police officers. The system is not set up for people to come freeload. It's just not. Missouri's governor speaking on the issue.
Our mission is to make sure the people of the United States are secure. And for me as governor of Missouri, my job is to make sure that we secure and we take care of the people in this state. So tomorrow, we will start the process of working with the Operation Lone Star to be able to put boots on the ground and be able to help even more than what we already have. We currently have National Guard members in Texas, but we are currently going to do more to help Operation Lone Star.
So Missouri is behind Texas, which is good because this is an issue for us all to face. The idea that every state is a border state is 100% accurate. Fairmont City, I think it's 8 minutes from where I'm sitting right now, has a welcome center for immigrants who come here to be provided all sorts of different types of amenities. Where is that funded from? It's funded from you. It's coming from you. Sometimes I feel like I'm preaching from the choir. I know that you know this stuff already, but it is mind-boggling to see how stupid this administration thinks that we all are, or more terrifyingly, how confident they are in their ability to win the next election, that none of these actions will have consequences at the ballot box. How can Joe Biden get away with this? How does the president of the United States, who signed 94 executive actions undoing Donald Trump's border policies in the first 100 days, 94 executive orders, which means give me the power. You got the power, man. You know it, man. Just say like that, and then I feel like speak his language. Come on, man. You know what's up. The power that Joe Biden is asking for is political power that hurts the Republicans. That's what he's asking for. That's the translation. And I know sometimes we need to translate a little bit more than others with this president. But what he wants is to put the pressure on the only place where Republicans have any semblance of power or authority in their representation of you in this government right now is in the House majority, which is Republicans, by like 1 vote, 2 votes. The Senate, that's a Democrat control. The office of the executor, obviously, Joe Biden. He can veto. He can sign executive orders. He wants to put all of the pressure on the Republicans in the House. Smart political move. Don't have the time to play those types of games. If the president wants to fix this problem, he can undo what he undid in his first 100 days in office, undoing what Donald Trump did to protect our southern border. And Donald Trump needed to do more, and I think he was ready to do it. So Congress is coming together, and they're supposed to put together this border bill. You would like to think it's a border bill, but it's something much bigger than that. Let's listen to Chad Pergram.
When I look at this bill right now, there's this big consternation about 5,000 people a day being let in. Basically, if you get into the nitty-gritty, it essentially says, you will shut down the border if they have such a high surge, a current pace like what we're experiencing now at the border. That would essentially shut it down. So people are going to take and read and interpret certain things out of this that they want. Again, the question in the Senate is whether or not it can get 60 votes. Chuck Schumer, in his statement tonight, says that the overwhelming majority of senators want to do so. They need at least 60 to get this going. But the problem is going to be in the House of Representatives. And don't forget that there's a number of liberals, both in the Senate and the House, that don't like this. And, John, you could see a cocktail of Democrats and Republicans teaming up at the polls on both sides to possibly torpedo this bill because they don't like it. It's that middle that's going to be very important if they're going to actually try to pass it.
Rob Law, who's the director of the Center for Homeland Security and Immigration at America First Policy Institute, is going to talk to us about this at 1:25. I hope to talk to him about what the bill has in it and how that does or does not help the actual problem that Americans are facing right now with their disrespected non-sovereign border. So we're going to get into the details more about this at 1:25. Brad, you were telling me about things that you see in this bill that are kind of freaking you out, and I told you to relax because it's not going anywhere.
It's not so much the stuff that's in the bills as what are they trying to do with this bill. So 5,000, but if you look at the bill, 5,000 illegal immigrants per day, rolling average on 7 days, I think is what it says. Something to that effect. Then
it's a rolling average of, if we get to 5,000 crossings, it shuts down the border completely, but it's over 7 days.
But it also, it has to have that average. But when that border shuts down, quote unquote, it has to go, everybody wanting to apply for asylum then has to go to a port of entry, which if you apply for asylum now, you have to go to a port of entry. You should have to go to a port of entry. So it doesn't actually close the border down. It just says, okay, everybody's automatically denied their asylum seeking, and they have to go to a port of entry if they want it. But my concern is so at 4,000, it says that the president can do that. At 5,000, it's automatic on that rolling average. Does it cut the legs or hamstring the president from actually shutting it down before it reaches those numbers? I don't want that codified into law, and that is something that Democrats would absolutely do to keep their open border policies going.
Yeah, the gamesmanship will be there entirely. Now, we're talking about the border bill. It's not just a border bill, though. I mean, what is it? Is it the smallest portion of the bill goes to our southern border?
I believe so.
Israel and Ukraine both included. Do you know that it's got $60 billion in there to Ukraine? Do you know that's bigger than the entire budget for the United States Marines? That's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
A little bit.
Yeah. We're giving more to Ukraine than we're giving to the Marines. Now, I listen to Brian Kilmeade, and Brian Kilmeade knows and boldly is an outlier on conservative voices who do support the idea of funding in Ukraine. I think Jim Carafano has consistently said that the idea that we would string out Russia and deplete their resources and provide an opportunity for that to happen without sacrificing American lives is an investment that he considers a valuable one. But you also have to make sure that you pay attention to where the money is going. And I think accountability is what the majority of American taxpayers are looking to see. I think there are a lot of people who just want to say absolutely no funding to Ukraine, absolutely no funding to Israel. Keep everything here, everything inside these borders, a very isolationist approach. I'm personally not that person, but I'm also knowing my limits to not get out over my skis and pretend that I could say this is why this, that, and the other thing. I know that strategic partnerships are important in an unstable world. I understand the value of not having to fight people who wish us harm with our own blood, and knowing people who are serving. That is something that is close to my heart, near and dear to my heart, and I know many of you would say the same thing. But it's just, I mean, why? I also ask myself, how do we possibly ask Ukraine to be accountable for the money that we're giving to Ukraine when we're not even accountable to the money we give ourselves? There's no, I mean, if you look at, in the House, Thomas Massey, in the Senate, Rand Paul.
Yeah.
They're like, look at all the crap we're spending our money on. Why are we doing this? And everyone's like, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. And then we spend the money.
Yeah. Well, do you remember during COVID, it was Thomas Massey said, no, we shouldn't do this because it's unaccountable and there will be so much fraud. There was one vote in the House against it. It was Thomas Massey. And then we get to the other side of that COVID relief, and guess who was right?
Yeah.
Thomas Massey.
Because he stood up for something, even when it wasn't popular. Man, $34 trillion in debt right now. That's our deficit here, or that's our debt, and it's growing. I saw this weekend on a Sunday show, Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, said that we are on an unsustainable economic path. We're going to ask Steve Moore about that at about 1:15 today. So you're going to want to stick around and hear what Steve Moore has to say about that. But when we come back, we're going to speak with Joe Concha. I'm excited to talk to him. Always love his energy and his straight to the point messaging on so much of what we're facing right now. If you join us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, which we always invite you to do, the YouTube live chat poll, which issue will most greatly affect the outcome of the November 2024 election? The economy, immigration / the border, that's one. Abortion. Make sure we don't forget about that issue. You're like, Annie, who's talking about abortion? Well, if it's an election year, you better believe the left will be. Or there's something else. And if you want to drop a comment by on our live chat because I missed something and you think it's a big one, let us know what that one might be. Let's listen to Sheepdog said the economy with immigration a very close second. We'll see. Come vote. Leave a comment. Joe Concha when we come back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Body's too young to look like his. My mama went off and left him. She wanted more from life than he could give. I said somebody's got to take care of him. So I quit school and that's what I did.
The Diamond Shop, waiting for you to come by. It's February 5th, according to my calculations, which means you have 9 days to get yourself a beautiful Valentine's Day gift for somebody special. And remember that shopping within that budget of a delivered flowers, bouquet of roses, whatever it might be on Valentine's Day, get yourself something that's going to last forever with the Diamond Shop, something that's going to sparkle, that's going to make her smile, a beautiful set of diamond stud earrings, maybe a bracelet, a nice pendant, something that is meaningful and timeless. The Diamond Shop has a wide variety of different pieces that you could walk in today and get that purchase made in a whole range of budgets. So don't think that it's out of your price range, or if you're looking to go big this year, smart move. The Diamond Shop will guide you through so you know that you're making a great investment. They are located in Clayton. You can find them online and become a VIP by visiting thediamondshop.net. And a reminder, they do custom jewelry and watch repair. They also do appraisals and buy gold. They have special financing with 6 months, same as cash. All the details are online right now by visiting them at thediamondshop.net.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. ramp.com/free.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-291-1017. 800-291-1017. Again, that's 800-291-1017. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Keep the air you're paying to heat where it should be with 15% off attic insulation. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. You found 97.1 FM Talk, where we ask questions, even when the legacy media won't. Especially when the legacy media won't.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
You know, Joe? I don't know nothing. What you know, Joe?
This is the Annie Frey Show.
What you know, Joe? Ain't conniving, just ain't jiving. I don't know. What you know, Joe? Well, I don't know Latin. What you know, Joe? An executive authority. Was there more you could do? Absence of
not all I can do. Give me the power. I've asked for the very day I got in office. Give me the border patrol. Give me the people, the judges. Give me the people who can stop this and make it work for us.
So there you have President Biden. That's from a week or two ago. Give me the power. He's really angry. He's yelling. There's jet noise and everything. He's saying, give me the power. I need to do something with the border. And I'm just waiting on those silly Republicans in the House to give me the power. And we're going to go to our friend Joe Concha to ask, what kind of power is it that we are waiting for the president to receive? Fox News contributor, author of the book, Come On, Man, The Truth About Joe Biden's Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Presidency. And I think there's another book coming out soon, too, Joe. Am I right on that?
That's right. It's called Progressively Worse. Why Today's Democrats Ain't Your Daddy's Donkeys.
Yeah.
We
got to do something about that by November. I need you to be writing great positive books about the president, although this guy keeps giving you the material. What kind of power is Joe Biden asking for there?
Oh, I could give him 94 pieces of power. They're called the executive orders and actions that he signed right after he went into office, reversing every Trump border policy and immigration policy that existed. And look, this Senate bill, any Republican senator that actually signs on to this, you are signing your death warrant, basically, as far as a career is concerned. Because to have a bill like this, Annie, and not have resumption of wall construction, to not remain in Mexico, to not eviscerate, catch and release, if those three things are not done, then everything else is BS. And don't tell me, well, we'll be reducing the number of crossings from 10,000 a day to 5,000 a day. Jay Johnson, who was a very capable Department of Homeland Security Secretary under Barack Obama, he has said that anything over 1,000 is a crisis. So we're going to settle for 5? This isn't how it should work. Republicans should not sign on to this. And if the media continues this utter BS as far as, well, they're just blocking the bill because they don't want to fix the problem because they want an issue in November. No, it's a crappy bill. And that's why you block it. And that's why Donald Trump is leading the charge on this. And I think the American people, if they actually are paying attention, would see that this is not going to solve anything, Annie.
Yeah, Joe Concha speaking with us right now, Fox News contributor. I'm looking at this bill going, what is even the point of this exercise? Because I guess Mitch McConnell had some to do with it, and then the senator from Oklahoma, but it isn't going to be something that the Republican Party can get behind because A, the number one thing, as you articulated, it doesn't fix the problem, and B, politically, that's a great way to get rid of any possibility for a Senate majority come November. What is the point of what was put together here? The
point, I guess, was we'll do something. right? We'll show we're doing something. It's so swamp-like. We'll say, we'll show that we could work together to pass a bill to make a horrible situation at the border not so horrible. And we shouldn't settle for that in any way, shape, or form. And I'm just, the Senate Republicans that are negotiating on this, the three things I just listed, unless you're given those three or at least two of those three, then I walk away from the table. And that's the end of it. Because people will still blame Biden for the border because they see what's happened. This is now 3 years into this presidency. 10 million people have come into this country illegally. That's more than the total population of 41 states. I mean, think about that for a moment. So for Biden suddenly to say, give me the tools, I want to fix this. No. You don't get to do that now, and it will cost you your presidency. And by the way, poll just out. Let's see. NBC News has Biden his lowest approval rating at 37%. And Biden also trails Trump as far as who could better fix the border. Let's see, 57 to 22.
Whew, man.
All right. And if that's the number one issue, how do you win?
You've covered presidential elections. You follow polls. How much do you make? I was kind of reflecting off of Iowa. The polls were pretty spot on in how Iowa ended up turning out.
Yeah.
Looked like New Hampshire was, on the whole, pretty close too. Do you think that the polls going into November are something that voters can lean into that actually reflect the electorate?
All right, Annie, I want your listeners to now call me Professor Concha, all right?
Can do.
Teach a little class here. It's a very simple lesson on the itinerary. Now, here's the thing. Stop reporting national polls.
Yes.
They don't mean anything, right?
Swing states.
Swing states, exactly. So I want to know if Trump is leading in Georgia. And I'll just go through this Bloomberg Morning Consult poll that just came out. How's he doing in Georgia? Trump +8. How's Trump doing in North Carolina? Trump +13.
Whew.
How's Trump doing in Nevada? Trump +11. How's Trump doing in Arizona? Trump +8. How's Trump doing in Michigan? Trump +10. How's Trump doing in Wisconsin? Trump +8. How's Trump doing in Pennsylvania? +3. So, okay, even if Biden takes Pennsylvania, if Donald Trump wins all those other states, you are looking at a landslide in essence. And even if he wins just a majority of those states, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, he is your next president. That's it. So everything else and all this analysis and, look, Biden's up nationally by 2 points. Shut up. I don't care what people think in California, New York, and Illinois. I care what they think in those states I just listed, though, because they decide elections. Just ask Hillary Clinton.
Amen. Amen to that. We're speaking with Joe Concha. His book that has been out for a while, Come On Man, The Truth About Joe Biden's Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Presidency. And as he mentioned, he has one coming out soon as well. Some interesting parties coming out right now that are not really politicians or politicos so much, but they've leaned in politically to comment, and the border has been one of the issues that has caused this. Elon Musk certainly has continued down his march of being very vocally common sense kind of based on this idea that America is a good country and we should protect America, and there's some basic tenets to do that. And he's said out here recently that it is very obvious that the influx of migrants to this country are purposely being permitted so that Democrats can continue to retain power. It's a pretty bold statement. He's not the first person to say it. I wonder what your thoughts are on that philosophy.
Ooh, this is going to make me a conspiracy theorist.
Okay.
Because if I say that this is all intentional to get more Democratic voters on the voter rolls, that makes me some sort of crazy person. No, it isn't. I mean, this has to be intentional. I mean, when you say surge the border as a candidate, as Joe Biden did in 2019, and then you appoint Kamala friggin' Harris as the border czar, the gal who compared ICE to the KKK, I have a feeling you're not going to solve the problem, or you have any interest in solving the problem. So this is what this is all about. They don't care what this is doing to municipal budgets like in New York City, where now they're cutting sanitation, education, NYPD budget getting slashed. Why? So legal people in this country, those who are born illegally, I should say, or came here legally, they don't get the protection that they would get otherwise if they were here illegally, where you're getting put up in fancy hotels and 3 meals a day and travel to wherever you want. And I can go on and on. And you know what? I think the defining moment of this campaign, when we look back on it, was that video that came out of New York last week where you have 2 New York City police officers being beaten right in Times Square. I walk through there every day when I go to Fox. And the fact that this was so brazenly done, and then they're released on bail by Alvin Bragg, the guy who has 34 felony counts against Donald Trump, and then they come out of that police station holding up not one but two middle fingers at the American people. I think people saw that and said, enough. We can't keep doing this anymore.
I agree with you. That picture is worth a huge political campaign donation to the opposite of whatever it is we're doing now. Here's some other names that I've seen bubble up, and these aren't raging Trump endorsements. I don't even know if they're 100% voting for Trump, but 50 Cent has come out and speaking specifically about the Mayor Adams $53 million investment in credit cards or debit cards, whatever, that are going to go to migrants to help them with basic goods. He's like, this is ridiculous. And he's looking at Trump as an alternative. Snoop Dogg has recently come out and said, Trump's all right with me, which is, that's a start. Michael Rappaport has come out and been like, Trump is on the table, and he's the maddest about saying that out loud. And even Bill Maher, we've seen him make some common sense assessments of what's going on, saying this the way we're doing it right now, this isn't it. Trump is a legitimate candidate going into November. Do you think that Donald Trump is effectively broadening his support and his base right now?
Yeah, I think I don't know if the numbers are at 25% of the black vote. Remember historically, if any Republican got anything above single digits, that was a small miracle, right? So, but even if he gets 15%, it's over, right? I mean, then you don't win Georgia because you're probably not going to get Atlanta, right? And you don't win Pennsylvania because you're not going to get Philadelphia. I could go through the cities, but the problem for Biden is it's not so much these voters going over to Trump, it's them not showing up and voting for Biden at all, or they go to a guy like RFK Jr., which I've said from day one, a third-party candidacy will absolutely hurt Joe Biden more than it will Donald Trump, because Donald Trump has loyal base core support. Joe Biden doesn't have that, right? And then when blacks start to flee him and Hispanics start to flee him and independent voters are fleeing him, at that NBC News poll, Trump's up 20 points among independents. I mean, again, good night. Now, I'm not saying that he wins, because I would have predicted that in 2020 at this time, because we really weren't talking much about COVID at this point. So 1,000 things can happen between now and Election Day. But if it were held today, he wins, and he wins easily.
For sure. Joe Biden being the opponent on the other side, is there any doubt in your mind that Joe Biden is the guy in November?
I just wish there was somebody, like a backup. Where's Brock Purdy, right? I'll throw where's that great backup? Tom Brady, for that matter, right? That could just step up and take over for Drew Bledsoe and then lead the team to a Super Bowl. I don't know who that is. I mean, Gavin Newsom, there's just something very unlikable and very condescending about him. And then once you even remotely start to peel the onion off as far as his record in California, I don't think he could step in and suddenly just energize this party. I hear about Michelle Obama, but I've talked to two people privately that are very close to the Obamas, and they said that she absolutely wants no part of this. None. Very happy in her life. She's not about to step into this. Very happy with her Netflix documentary Emmys and living on a mansion in an estate the size of a small country in Martha's Vineyard.
Praying that climate change thing doesn't actually affect their home.
Nope, not at all. Right on the water. Very nice. So I don't think she gets in. I don't think Newsom's the answer. The only person I might entertain is Gretchen Whitmer, and you say, I want her. Well, again, we're talking about the skinniest kid at fat camp at this point. Like, that's probably the best option, but how they're going to do this, on the convention floor, delegates suddenly, Biden announces, I can't run, I got a health problem.
Doesn't Joe Biden have to participate in it, though? It can't be done without his public blessing, right?
You ever try to take the keys away from your grandpa when he's trying to drive, and you're like, he just hit like 3 cats over the last week? You're like, wait, Grandpa, you can't drive anymore. He's like, no, you're not taking these keys from me. Joe Biden will say, I beat this guy last time. I won by 7 million votes, right? I got 81 million, if you want to believe that. And there you go. So why are you replacing me when I've shown I could beat him? So it's a decent argument.
Yeah.
So I think it's Trump versus Biden. We could try to rethink this over and over again, but it's just getting later and later in the game.
It is. It's going to be wild, of course, now through November, but we love having your opinion always here on it, because it's always fiery and straight to the point. Last question I have to ask you before we let you go.
Yes.
Chiefs or 49ers?
I always have a definitive pick.
Uh-huh.
But I've had definitive picks over the past 2 weeks where I definitively picked the Buffalo Bills to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I definitively picked the Baltimore Ravens to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And Patrick Mahomes keeps proving me wrong. He's starting to have this Michael Jordan aura where he doesn't lose big games, right? I know he lost the Super Bowl a couple of years ago to Brady. But at this point, I don't know if he loses again in these situations. So all things considered, I think the 49ers are the better team. But Mahomes scares the hell out of me. So flip a coin, and I'll say the Niners win 27-24, but I say that with zero conviction, Annie. Who do you got?
I don't. Chiefs, I guess. We're kind of Chiefs country here.
Yeah.
Sitting in St. Louis, I'm just like a woman scorned with the NFL. The Rams, we're huge Rams fans, and that whole thing ended very poorly. But
you have the Battlehawks.
Yeah. Amen to that.
They draw well
yes.
there, don't they? 40,000
The Battlehawks do get a lot caca, as we say. Caca is the law here. You went in a deep cut there. I appreciate that. Last question, Taylor Swift. Do you care? Is she a conservative psyop? Are you angry at her? What's your thoughts?
Here's my thoughts. Even if she comes out and endorses Joe Biden, I think it has almost little to no effect. Because think about who her voters, who her main audience is.
Who she'd change her to mind?
Yeah, well, teenage girls who can't vote, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then even if it's like young adults, most people that go to Taylor Swift concerts are probably already Democrats. In other words, she's not going to convince any like Trump supporters to come over. And then a lot of her voters, also young adults, think that Joe Biden is a war criminal. So if Taylor says vote for him, it's like, well, either you already have them or they don't like Joe. So I think she probably... She may like have like a tacit endorsement, but I can't see her openly like going nuts and like campaigning with him and everything. I just think there's nothing but downside if she does that for herself, her career, her reputation.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan once said, "Republicans buy sneakers too," and it's true.
That is 100% true. Joe Concha, we appreciate you. Thanks for being with us here today.
Thanks, Annie. 2 Jordan references. I'm on a roll.
Yeah. Well, those are always welcome here as well. Thank you, Joe.
Bye.
Bye. Joe Concha, Fox News contributor. Did not have the Battlehawks on my Monday bingo card, but I certainly should have. Shame on me. Caca for all y'all. Let's take a quick break. Wiggins is out today. He might have got a little what I got, so he's taking a day to have a little bit of a reprieve. So we don't know what we're doing next. Brad, what are we doing next? Do we know?
I don't know if we know yet or not.
Let's do something fun. I've got something up my sleeve, and it's not a tissue. Go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Which issue most greatly affects the outcome of the November 2024 election? The economy, the immigration and the border, abortion, or something else? You go vote, leave a comment. We'll be right back.
What you know, Joe? What you know, Joe? What do you know, Joe? Just
Air Comfort Service online at aircomfortservice.com. Make sure that your HVAC system is in good working order with the very best in the business. These are people who I trust in my home, all of them. Air Comfort Service, they are good people. And I think that matters when you're investing in something that might end up being, a little more expensive as far as home repairs go. If you have to replace your furnace or HVAC system, that's not going to be a $5 bill. It's going to be bigger than that. You want to make sure that you're investing it with people who are going to take that situation and carefully and respectfully handle it in your home. Air Comfort Service has been in my home many times, replacing the furnace, the air conditioner, the water heater, and doing an AeroSeal duct sealing for my home as well. And I am very grateful for the service they have provided us. 314-513-0091. Good things come in threes, like the triple the heat special from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Did you know that heating systems are available in different stages? Right now, you can save 10% off a single-stage furnace, 15% off a two-stage furnace, or up to 20% off a multi-stage furnace. For more details, visit them online at aircomfortservice.com.
Roses are red, the birds on the bat are too, and the Cardinals have a gift idea just for you. Treat your Valentine to dinner and a game with all-inclusive tickets. Now through Valentine's Day, all-inclusive tickets to games in April start as low as $55. All-inclusive tickets feature a full buffet and complimentary bar service. New for 2024, check out the Budweiser 703 Club. For details, visit cardinals.com/Valentines.
Hey guys, this is Mason Wynn. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Cardinals single game tickets for the 2024 season are on sale now and start at just $6. The schedule is filled with great matchups, including 2 weekend series with the Cubs, plus weekend matchups with the Dodgers, Red Sox, and more. The promo schedule is packed with fan favorites too, like jerseys, bobbleheads, player tributes, and so much more. There's something for everyone in the 2024 season. Get your tickets now at Cardinals.com.
This is Lars Newbar, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack.
You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Today's YouTube live chat poll, which issue will most greatly affect the outcome of the November 2024 election? Will it be the economy? Will it be the immigration/southern border? Will it be abortion? Or is it something else? Jump into Annie's YouTube page. That's where you'll find the poll. Vote. Let us know what you think. And if you pick something else, or if you picked any one of these, jump on the chat and tell us why you voted the way you voted. We want to hear what you have to say, and we'll feature some of those comments later on in the show. The time is 12:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Congratulations to Fred Bottomer of The Mark Reardon Show on his induction into the St. Louis Media History Foundation's Hall of Fame. From all of us at 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
I'm trying to grow my business. As far as Biden, I haven't seen Biden really care about business like that. And my concern is having my business so that I can build generational wealth, so my kids can see and have something to take upon when I'm not here.
You're hearing that too, that there are some people in your orbit who are either voting for Donald Trump or considering it?
For sure. A lot of my friends are obviously my age, so we're a little younger. We've only voted once, for a president. And Trump is kind of all we know. And they're kind of Trump and Biden. They're like, well, we were broke with Biden. We weren't with Trump. And that's kind of the only thing that I'm hearing over and over again is that, well, Trump, we had money.
So those are some voters that are black voters talking to MSNBC. And they're saying that that Donald Trump is what they know when they think of positive results from an administration, not Joe Biden. It's a very interesting shift that is taking place with, in my mind, I don't know how people are going to vote. And I know that it's February 5th and the election is months and months and months away. But the way some people are willing to openly talk about Donald Trump seems as though it's starting to change. And Brad, when I look at who's willing to openly even say Donald Trump's name out loud compared to the shrieking that you might hear on a regular basis from the usual suspects on MSNBC or wherever it might be, I'm watching for those voices to get even louder and angrier, because it is clear to me that there are more people who are saying, I got to consider Donald Trump.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about people like you pointed out, Michael Rappaport. I think, which he made some headlines last night too. Killer Mike, rapper, went on Bill Maher and was like, I don't know that I can back Biden in this sort of economy. And of course, he got arrested at the
Grammys
last night, which is wild. But yeah, you see
Didn't
more
he
and more.
assault somebody at the Grammys though?
That's the story that came out, but I haven't seen anything definitive about what it really is. The other person too, Snoop Dogg. I don't have a problem with Trump. All good there. And this is also the same Snoop Dogg that made a rap video of him shooting Donald Trump and then having a body bag with a toe tag that said Trump on it in one of his rap videos. So people are kind of changing. There's a lot of shifting going on. And as long as people feel the pressure of the economy when they go to buy groceries and they can't afford it, like that man was saying at the end of that video, all I know is we're broke under Biden and we weren't under Trump. People are going to start switching. I mean, at the end of the day, it is really the economy. And, man, Joe Biden's done a really bad job.
50 Cent. Is it 50?
I think it's 50.
I think it's 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Right? That's not the conversation for the subject. The New York Post wrote about this. I saw this tweet. This is from the New York Post. Rapper 50 Cent is no fan of Mayor Adams' plan. And I don't know if you've heard this plan yet, but, this influx of migrants coming into New York City, they don't know what to do with them. They're cutting budgets. They've slashed budgets. They've slashed the police budget because they got to figure out how to take care of all these people who have just shown up on their doorstep. And they're just aghast at the idea of why are they all coming here? 50 Cent is no fan of Mayor Adams' plan to distribute $53 million to city migrants on prepaid credit cards.
It's unbelievable.
WTF, Mayor Adams? Call my phone. I don't understand how this works with the little shrug emoji. Like, what? Somebody explain. Can't explain this. I'm stuck. Maybe all caps Trump is the answer. Now, we have seen many, many times before A-list celebrities at fundraisers, at, when Barack Obama was the president, White House parties. You've got Beyonce performing, Lady Gaga performing, just these huge, huge stars. I'm starting to wonder what this could look like if these hip-hop artists and rappers end up getting behind Donald Trump, because I think that they've made rap videos, music videos with Donald Trump in them when he was a Democrat.
Oh, for sure.
I wonder if these people will put their money where their mouth is, or their time where their mouth is, and show up. Because they don't have to, they don't have to wear a Trump shirt, but they could. They don't have to wear a MAGA anything, but they could. If 50 Cent or if Snoop Dogg, if any of these people are so willing to speak on this issue, then they have just, that's a huge, huge, huge decision. You cannot casually comment on Donald Trump. No. You cannot casually come out and say something remotely neutral to positive about Donald Trump. If you say something neutral about Donald Trump, that is a positive. Because the default, especially with somebody who's in an A-list circle, the default is it's predetermined who you will hate and how much you will hate them. And you will not go against the grain in doing that. Are there rappers out there right now that are talking about how Nicki Minaj is another one?
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj has come out and been like, especially regarding what's going on in New York, saying this is not okay. And she prefaces making statements like this on her Twitter lives or whatever by saying like, I don't want to die. Like she literally says like, I don't have a death wish. But, and then she goes on to criticize what the Democrats are doing in control when we're in places where Democrats have always had control. How much could they actually effectively sway the electorate in a meaningful way this November? And I say this, people are going to, that are, the people who have like Joe Biden merch, that's a particular kind of person. You are invested.
Yeah.
The people who are Democrat talking points readers, and you do this I believe that a lot of those people do care about their country. They just have a very warped view of it in comparison to my perspective, and they would likely say the same thing about my perspective comparatively to theirs. Are there Biden people? Are there leftists who are outwardly coming out and supporting Joe Biden in this same arena the way we've seen Snoop Dogg come out and vocalize, 50 Cent, Big Mike, as you said, whatever. Like, this is a dramatic shift.
Yeah. Well, even if you go back to when The Rock was on Joe Rogan's podcast, Joe Rogan was talking to him. He's like, well, I've got friends that support Trump and I've got friends that support Biden. And Joe Rogan goes, wait, seriously, you got friends who support Joe Biden? He goes, well, not so much support Joe Biden as they support the team, which was a very honest and real moment there, that the reason people are behind Joe Biden is just because it's not because of anything that's Joe Biden. It's really a supporting of the team. And then to your point where you were talking about, could somebody sway the public in a meaningful way, a rapper or somebody like that? Yes, they absolutely could, because the amount of African American votes that would have to change to Republican is so small to actually throw the whole election toward Donald Trump. It's so small that you don't have to influence a ton of people, just a percentage point or two.
Which means the Republicans need to show up and listen to these people. It's not just about, we can't be like the Democrats and be like, oh, all we need is 10% of the black vote. Barf on that. Go find out what these people care about. Go find out what is plaguing these people's communities and stop thinking that they're a lost cause to your political end. Start looking at them as a political end that you could have, where you could effectively represent people who do live in your districts and your communities and help them. Help them, listen to them, because the Democrats don't listen to them. No. The Democrats don't hear what they need, because it's the same every single election cycle. In these impoverished neighborhoods, be it black or white, it's the same every time. And they come knocking. We had people in here from Washington Park in Illinois, and they said they don't even send their actual candidates to the door. They just drop by a flyer that says who we're supposed to vote for. Well, why don't we do that? Why don't we go listen to these people? Why don't we go talk to these people? Listen to what they want to actually say. Listen to what they want to have actually be done. And then represent. I mean, that's really what the process is supposed to be to begin with. Everybody needs to stop saying that the status quo is going to be the status quo. Go change it, because it's for the taking right now. Pretty big. Steve Moore is going to join us at 1:15. Excited to talk to him about the economy, $34 trillion in debt, and Robert Law about the immigration system. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you are nearing retirement or already retired. What if it were possible to protect you from market downturns without having to make an emotional decision to buy or sell? What if you could take advantage of a strategy that would automatically take you out of harm's way during the bad years and position you for the growth opportunity during the good years?
The secret is in linking safely to the market without putting your principal at risk. By linking to the market instead of owning the market, you can participate safely on autopilot and lock in your gains without creating a taxable event. Go online at retirementkey.com for a no-obligation retirement review. We'll teach you the strategy that has helped our clients retire with confidence for the past 38 years. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Rulerfoods.com. Have you visited them yet? I'm going to type it in here right now while I'm talking to you. If you go to rulerfoods.com, it's very simple to put in your zip code and you'll find the store that's closest to you. You can also connect to their current ads so you can always see the extra savings on top of the everyday Ruler Foods low prices. No coupons needed. You don't have to go through all the clipping and all that stuff when you shop at Ruler Foods. When you go into the store, you're going to get your card if you want to, put the quarter in or whatever it is, and you go through the store and you're going to see it set up very similar to most grocery stores that you would go to. Produce, fresh produce, great avocados. That's something that my family likes to get. We also get apples, grapes, all sorts of different produce so that our family is stocked full of the fruits and the vegetables that we need. They have a great meat department, frozen food section, and everything in the middle like you would traditionally see in a grocery store. Your name brands are there at Ruler Foods prices. You can find the Ruler Foods closest to you at rulerfoods.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-674-2189 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-674-2189. That's 800-674-2189. What do you have to lose? Call 800-674-2189. Again, 800-674-2189.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Nice to see a little added sunshine going through our Monday afternoon. Plenty of sunshine for the rest of the day. 52 for the high. No question the days are getting longer. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Mid-40s for evening plans. A cold 28 overnight. Tuesday, sunny and 52. Increasing clouds Tuesday night, and Wednesday, partly to mostly cloudy, but I think Wednesday is dry and 58 degrees. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
London, the palace statement says diagnostic tests identified the cancer after a separate issue of concern was noted during that recent prostate treatment.
They commenced a regular schedule of treatment as of today. He was at Sandringham at his country home this morning. He went in for outpatient treatment at the clinic in the center of London today, and he is now at home. So he's been treated in an outpatient manner.
The palace says public duties are postponed on doctor's orders, but that the 75-year-old king will continue state business and paperwork, and that he remains positive about his treatment. A U.S. State Department spokesman calling the cancer diagnosis sad news and saying thoughts are with the king and his family. The State Department also just confirming that the Iraqi government was not notified in advance about Friday's U.S. strikes in Iraq and Syria on multiple Iranian targets.
They included command and control centers, rocket, missile, drone storage facilities. We believe that these were credible targets and picked in a way to minimize and avoid civilian casualties.
State Department spokesman Vedant Patel says every country in the region understood there would be a response after the Iran proxy drone attack that killed 3 U.S. service members in Jordan. Still, there have been calls in Iraq for U.S. troops there as part of the fighting ISIS mission to leave. America is listening to Fox News.
From the Fox News Podcasts.
Hey, you're up next.
My throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up?
I'm tired of feeling so bloated.
That used to be me. Then I got this.
Align bloating relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right?
Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Get
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Nice to see a little added sunshine going through our Monday afternoon. Plenty of sunshine for the rest of the day. 52 for the high. No question the days are getting longer. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Mid-40s for evening plans. A cold 28 overnight. Tuesday, sunny and 52. Increasing clouds Tuesday night, and Wednesday, partly to mostly cloudy, but I think Wednesday is dry and 58 degrees. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Heroes Care is fulfilling their mission of serving military members in many ways. Brad Range here from the Annie Frey Show. Every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., Heroes Care is offering free haircuts at the Mission Depot. Learn more and make an appointment at 971talk.com/care.
Well, February, of course, is the month for love. And when is the last time you gave your carpet the love and attention it deserved? Have you gotten down on your hands and knees and adored how clean and refreshed it was? You probably haven't done that. I do not recommend that. Do this instead, because your carpet is likely one of the biggest investments in your home. It's also the biggest air filter in your home. Let's clean it professionally with the help of my friends at Zero Res. And lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home with their Love Their Rug special during the month of February. Take advantage. Call 314-474-2020. Go online, ZeroResSTL.com. Take advantage of a great offer. 3 rooms, professionally cleaned, zero-resified, as we like to say, starting at $119 plus a free hallway thrown in during the month of February. Let's not forget about the air ducts. During the month of February, take $50 off your air duct cleaning package when you mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. It's super easy to make the appointment. Call Zero Res. They have tech all over the St. Louis region. 314-474-2020. Online, ZeroResSTL.com. Mention my name, Mark Reardon, or 97.1 FM Talk. Get the February deal. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same.
Victory Men's Health is making it easier than ever before to feel like your old self again. Mark Cox here from my friends at Victory Men's Health. Now they're offering telehealth. You reside in Illinois or Missouri, the process is easy. Just go to their website, pick the service you're interested in. Maybe it's semaglutide for weight loss, or hormone therapy, or micronutrient testing. Once you've made your selection and your results are in, they'll do a video telehealth consult to review. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
I know we're all busy. We're working, we're running errands, trying to take care of the kids. It's really easy to put things off. One thing you do not want to put off, though, your annual eye exam. The doctors at Ophthalmology Associates not only gave me the most thorough eye exam I've ever had, but they're also experts in the diagnosis and treatment of all diseases of the eye. Everything from dry eye to macular degeneration and cataracts. Think about this. Your eye health is the window into your overall body health. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranja Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Berry, they can look at your eyes and even tell in some cases if you have early stage diabetes, heart disease, lung problems, even some forms of cancer. They're called the doctors' doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors. The best part about this is that most insurance plans cover the cost of your annual eye exam. Set up your appointment today, 314-966-5000. Again, 314-966-5000, or go to youreye.com.
Hi, Chad Hansen from Hansen's Tree Service. Since our friends in D.C. can't get inflation under control, I thought I would do my part by offering a 10% discount on all tree work performed now through March. Let us do the hard work this winter while you stay bundled up in your home. Check us out today at hansenstree.com.
The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
What I'm saying is that we're going to immediately drill, baby drill. We're going to get energy down. And the other thing is we're going to have a strong border. We're going to close up the border because no country is sustainable. When you look at what's happening to our country with people from jails and prisons, people from mental institutions and insane asylums coming in, our country is being destroyed.
Donald Trump interviewed with Maria Bartiromo this weekend, and he's hitting on several things there when he's talking about we're going to drill, get energy going, get the prices down for Americans. And then he talks about how we're going to close up the border. The YouTube live chat poll for today hits on both of those things. And you can go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Which issue will most greatly affect the outcome of the November 2024 election? You have 4 choices. Is it the economy? Is it the immigration and the border? Is it abortion, or is it something else? Now, abortion is one of those issues that will always be top of mind for those who are on the left. They want to keep it top of your mind so that you use it as a motivator to show up to the polls, and they've been effective in doing it so far. I don't know how many different options there will be across the states for voting on abortion access, because it's a state law, because of the repeal of Roe v. Wade. But I'd like to know what you think, Brad. I'll give you the opportunity to answer this question now first. Economy, the immigration / the border, abortion, or do you think it's something else that's going to be the biggest issue affecting the outcome of this November election?
Man, I really think it's going to be immigration and the border. I don't see the situation at the border getting better. I think that based on what we've seen videos of Chicago residents and residents of blue cities, whenever they're having services that were provided to them now being removed and given to illegal immigrants, they're not happy about that. And they're looking at saying, who's doing these policies? Who's making these policies? Now that people are starting to feel the hurt of the southern border, they're going to respond to it. And I think that's why I picked that as the biggest issue that will drive the election.
It definitely is the most, I was going to say like the outlier one, the one that is not generally part of your normal existence. You don't think that in America you need to be worrying about fentanyl coming into your home and your child making one sad, sorry mistake that ends his or her life. You don't normally think about your tax dollars as something that comes out of your paycheck and then goes to someone who just got here while giving you the double bird on the way out of the police station because there's no cash. I mean, it's, to me, I feel like in this last week, the immigration border issue that the Democrats have been cultivating, in my opinion, working hard to use this as great of an impact as they possibly can while they have the ability to do so, which is why Joe Biden, in his first 100 days, signed 94 executive orders overturning what Donald Trump did to secure the southern border. That's the power, sir. You have it. You should know it. You've already used it. Now, if you've forgotten that you've used it, that's a different discussion, which kind of goes to Doug's comment here on the YouTube channel. He says it'll be something else. It'll be decided on personality, just like 2020. Among informed voters, though, it's A and B, economy and immigration. Another person here said, Josh, I appreciate this response. Josh said something else, general competence, which I think is in the favor of Donald Trump. I think it leans point Trump in that regard. Robert says, based on the last couple of elections, abortions. And Jay Pierce says, voted for the economy. However, the immigration border definitely would be my second choice. Donald Trump is speaking about these particular issues in a way that I think is important for people to pay attention to, because these are the issues that are affecting people. These are the issues that are affecting everyday Americans. He spoke on that New York incident.
We cannot allow scenes like I saw in New York 2 days ago, where policemen are being beat up by gangs of illegal immigrants, in that case from Venezuela, Honduras. We can't allow that. And these are kids that are fighters. They were not, babies. They were knocking the hell out of our policemen. We can't let this happen.
Brad, do you feel the sea change at all with that photograph of that guy giving the double bird?
Oh, man. I have seen nothing but anger and outrage at that photo. That man right there may have thrown this election toward Donald Trump with that one simple little arrogant, defiant reaction. What that picture does is it takes this whole narrative that has been put out there. These are people, these are your, what's the Statue of Liberty say? Your huddled masses, your poor. It takes that whole, these are just people seeking asylum. They're good people. They just want a better life. And it turns that right on its head, because this man beat a police officer. Him and his buddy beat a police officer. And because of the laws in New York, he went to court and was released with no bail. Assaulted a police officer, like on the ground, punching him, kicking him, fighting with him. Stuff that sends people to jail and to jail for a long time. He gets out without having to spend a dime. And then comes out and has the audacity and arrogance to flip off with two fingers all the cameras that are filming him. It makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how somebody just didn't. Of course, you say, how didn't somebody just jump in there? And then you see the guy from the subway. I can't think of his name right now. That subdued that man who ended up dying, and now he's
Penny.
and he's being prosecuted by the city of New York.
You don't have to work hard at all to see the results of blue city policies versus red city policies, blue state policies versus red state policies, and that CNN that law expert on CNN who was talking about how they steal in New York, they spend in Florida, and then they go back to New York, and the commentators are like, why don't they just stay in Florida? And he goes, you go to jail in Florida. It's clear who's the bad guy in New York City. Who is the person in New York that Alvin Bragg is willing to prosecute? The answer is clear. It's crystal clear. It's right in front of all of our faces. And you can choose to pay attention to it, or you can choose to ignore it. Even a lot of these, Jesse Waters does on his show, at the end of his show, he does kind of like a man on the street thing with, what's his guy's name? I can't remember what his man on the street is. But he used to, I don't know how many of y'all, you probably all know this, but Jesse Waters was Bill O'Reilly's producer and man on the street.
Yes.
Waters' World was a segment on the O'Reilly Factor. And Jesse Waters was this kind of young, kind of punkish, would pop his collar when he would go to the beach. He'd be wearing a bright pink polo shirt and everything. And then he'd ask these kind of questions. And he'd be kind of charming to people. He'd be able to get them to talk to him and say things. And now he's got a guy doing it. And this guy who's doing it is fantastic. We should get him on.
Okay.
Let's get him on.
I'll see if I can do that.
We want Jesse Waters. Jesse Waters has a book out. We're working on that. But let's get Jesse Waters, man on the street. I would love that.
I'll jump on that.
But they talk to a lot of these young people, and Joe Concha mentioned this earlier. It's a very important point that these young people, we were discussing the Taylor Swift factor since she's perpetually in the news. If Taylor Swift comes out and says, Joe Biden's our guy, which would just be so ridiculous if she were to do that. She should just stay out of it. She doesn't have to say anything. Like, she literally doesn't have to say anything. If she were to come out and say Joe Biden is the person, there are a lot of people who are her young, influenceable fans who have serious problems with what Joe Biden has been doing. Funding Ukraine, funding Israel. I mean, they don't like the way that a lot of them don't like the way that Joe Biden is handling the American role in the Israel-Hamas conflict. To me, it's like, if you're Taylor Swift and you come out, it's not as easy as it probably was in 2020 or in 2016. Hillary Clinton, woman, girl power, yay. You come out and you say Hillary Clinton, you can say that in a kind of shallow way and affect an outcome and kind of move on and stay in your lane still. If anybody comes out, this is what we were talking about with 50 Cent, and this is what we were talking about with Snoop Dogg, Big Mike. That's the rapper's name, right?
Killer Mike.
Killer Mike. Big Mike is something else.
Yes.
Dang it. Killer Mike. You can see how in tune I am to the rap world. You could see how when they make a statement about being pro-Trump, they're making a choice. They're making it's potentially sacrificial. Why would Taylor Swift, who is a pop icon, want to parse any of the fans that she has into us and them? I don't see how that would possibly be the case, especially for this guy. If it were a different candidate, I think we would be having a different conversation. But we're not. Before we get to a break here, I wanted to play this clip for you. Nikki Haley found herself on SNL.
My question is, why won't you debate Nikki Haley?
Oh, my God, it's her, the woman who was in charge of security on January 6th. It's Nancy Pelosi.
For the 100th time, that is not Nancy Pelosi. It is Nikki Haley.
Are you doing okay, Donald? You might need a mental competency test.
You know what I did? I took the test and I aced it, okay? Perfect score. They said I'm 100% mental. And, I'm competent because I'm a man. That's why a woman should never run our economy. Women are terrible with money. In fact, a woman I know recently asked me for $83.3 million.
You know what? I don't sense anything other than it's not quite desperation, but what I do feel like it is Nikki, do you know you're being used? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. In the SNL world, if you want to attack Donald Trump, you're pretty much welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Why would Nikki Haley? I mean, that wasn't even funny.
No.
Again.
Yeah. Why would Nikki Haley do it? I think you said it. I think it's desperation. She's trying anything that she can to make some waves, to make some noise. And really, whenever we looked at some of the what do you call it? Exit polling from the primaries, a vastly large chunk of Nikki Haley's support came from Democrats who crossed over.
And we've only had 2 opportunities to look at this, and in one of them, Democrats can just come over and vote.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they're going to vote that way in the general.
I would actually, there was an interview with one of them says, yeah, I would vote for Nikki. I voted for Nikki Haley in the primary, but I absolutely have no intention on voting for her in the general. And it's like, so what? I mean, you win what? You win the primary, which you're not going to with Democrat support, and then you're going to go out there and think you're going to win the general? You can't build your base with that by alienating the people that you will need to win the general.
My question to when I'm thinking about this is Nikki Haley still taking her presidential run seriously? Because I think it might have been 2 election cycles ago, I was tipped off to this. And I can't unsee it and I can't unthink it. But just the monetary benefit and the name recognition that you build in a presidential campaign, if you can live in that even 2 to 8% range for a good amount of time, you can build your own political capital, your name recognition significantly. I don't know that Nikki Haley, who was the governor of South Carolina, who was the ambassador to the UN, does she really need name recognition? I don't know. But if she is doing the bidding of other people the way that a lot of people are accusing her of, Ron DeSantis' thing was that Donald Trump is in it for his issues. Nikki Haley's in it for her donors' issues. I'm in it for your issues. Good slogan. Made sense. If the Nikki Haley part of that is true, then this is just such a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to do something like SNL so that you can, what appears to be compete against Donald Trump, it's not a fair fight.
No.
And if Donald Trump is going to win, is going to kick your butt in your home state, and you're not going to win anywhere, and it's so obvious that this primary race is over, I don't understand what benefit the American people get out of Nikki Haley staying in the race, which makes me pivot to what is Nikki Haley getting out of staying in the race? And that's just kind of gross. And if you're willing to, hurt your party mates in the process, knowing that you are not going to be able to pull this off, it's gross to me.
Yeah.
Unless I'm reading it wrong.
You're right. It is gross. What's in it for her? I don't know what's in it for the American people. I've looked at it. I can't see it. Nikki Haley's campaign seems to be built on the dying breaths of an older, GOP, different era, that Donald Trump basically came in and took a sledgehammer to. I feel like that era of the GOP is over, and there's people out there desperately clinging, trying to pull it back. But I don't know what Nikki Haley. I don't know what Nikki Haley gets out of it because it does. It looks weak. It looks desperate. I don't know that the name recognition is good. If what people associate with your name is getting your butt whipped in your home state, and people don't understand why you ran for president, is your legacy going to be that person that ran for president, which nobody thought you had any business doing anyway? How does that help her? And I don't know.
If you raise money, can't you take money that you've raised that people have donated to your campaign and then donate it to other campaigns?
That I don't know. I don't know anything about campaign law.
I think you can. So money coming in is still money coming in. And then if you have money coming in and then you have the opportunity to have money going out, that's influence.
Mm-hmm.
Money, influence, power. Anyway, let's close down the border with Robert Law when we come back. How's that sound? If only it were that easy. I bet Rob Law, would like that to be the case as well. He's the director of the Center for Homeland Security and Immigration at America First Policy Institute. He's also the former chief of policy at the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services within the Department of Homeland Security for the Trump administration. Rob Law on the Annie Frey Show when we come back.
But you can give them to the birds and bees.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
Your love give me such a thrill, but your love don't pay my bills. I need that's why
The Retirement Advisory Group, founded by Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and Tammy Kershaw, this family-owned and operated business, there to make sure that your transition from working right now into retirement is going to be an easy-peasy one. You don't want to have to worry when retirement gets here. You don't have to worry about who's in office or what the market did today. And when you work with the Retirement Advisory Group, Thomas Helbig, he's never had a client lose a penny. You are going to be in great company with many other 97.1 listeners and Annie Frey Show listeners who have taken up my call to have you call him and set up a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. Does not cost you anything. You sit down with him. You have a discussion. This is what we have. This is where we'd like to be. How can you help us get there? 314-993-9494. You call 314-993-9494 and let the Retirement Advisory Group help you build your own personalized structured income plan. Retirement is right around the corner for you. They've been doing this for 37 years, giving people just like you the confidence they need to transition into retirement. Reach them today. Tell them the Annie Frey Show sent you. Find them online at retirementkey.com.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for a free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Jane Duker.
There's no effort to hire officers. There's no efforts to police. I cannot support a regional crime plan that does not include that.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
The Declaration of Independence. Think I could tell you that first sentence, but then I'm lost. I can't begin to count the theories I've had pounded in my head that
I just believe that there are enough Republicans in the Senate who are sincere about solving the problem, as opposed to those who want chaos at the border because Donald Trump thinks it's a good election issue, that we can get this passed. But we'll see. We'll have a vote in the next 2 to 3 days to get onto the bill, and that will tell us whether we still have the support we need or whether Donald Trump has prevailed here.
Oh, man, these people. That's Senator Chris Murphy, a Democrat from Connecticut, who is a co-author of this bill. And if you had any questions about whether or not they were trying to solve the border issue with this bill, or if, mind blown, they're going to try to make this all about Donald Trump once again, I think you could just listen to his words right there. I would like to make it all about Donald Trump. I would like him to get reelected in November so that he could put back into place his policies that had our border much more secure than it is right now. Let's get some expert, not just bloviating opinions like mine. Let's get an expert's thought on this. The director of the Center for Homeland Security and Immigration at America First Policy Institute, also the former chief of policy at the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services within the Department of Homeland Security for the Trump administration, Rob Law joins us right now. Thank you so much for being with us here today, especially after this bill has been put out for people to read. Can't wait to hear what you think of it.
Well, thanks for having me on. And this bill is worse than advertised. I was trying to hold off on criticism based off of reports because, the words matter of legislative language. And frankly, this bill institutionalizes the record levels of illegal immigration that we've seen during the Biden administration. And it would actually hinder a President Trump or a future America First president from enforcing the law and truly securing the border. So happy to dig into some of the specifics, but this bill is not the right solution.
One of the things that I've seen either be talked about, this is obviously ink on paper, is what the Biden administration tends to do is streamline the process of people coming in. And the analogy I've used before in the show is it's like the patient is on the table, it's bleeding out, and they're asking for mops and buckets to make sure that it's a clean bleeding out, and as opposed to let's get somebody in here to stop the bleeding. They don't seem to understand that we need to stop the problem in its tracks, or they benefit from the problem status quo. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think you're right that they absolutely do benefit from basically breaking the system, because everyone probably remembers President Trump established the most secure southern border in our nation's history. And on day one, President Biden came in and undid every effective policy and has basically invited this invasion. And so, again, instead of turning back to the proven policies of the Trump administration, the Remain in Mexico policy, the asylum cooperative agreements with the Northern Triangle countries, fully utilizing expedited removal authority, instead of doing all those things that are proven, tried and true, and you know how they work, this bill creates this unnecessarily convoluted and complex and frankly confusing system which illegal aliens will go through when they will continue to make their fraudulent asylum claims. It will reward them with work permits at a quicker clip than they're currently getting them. And this notion that they're shutting down the border is just absolutely preposterous. It doesn't do that. And as I said at the onset, it institutionalizes a level of illegal immigration that we had never seen in the history of our country before Joe Biden took over.
One of the things you just said there is that this bill, should it become law, would make it more complicated for President Trump or any president to enforce the border. Can you really plain explain that to me, how that would come out of this bill, or maybe what the Democrats are after here?
Sure. So a couple of things. So under current law, as I just mentioned, there's the Remain in Mexico policy, which is you have the ability to make illegal aliens wait in Mexico until they have their asylum claims. This new process would essentially require a President Trump or a subsequent administration to do what's called nationwide catch and release. Basically, allow illegal aliens into the country, cut them loose, and hope that they check in with you periodically while they wait for their case. Secondarily, there is an authority that people may have heard referred to as Section 212F of the immigration laws, and that is a very broad authority. President Trump used it several times to deny the entry of aliens into our country. And if you now have an authority that has a trigger at 5,000 illegal aliens per day before you can even temporarily so-called shut down the border with loopholes, I think a case would be made that is Congress saying that anything less than 5,000 per day, which is the equivalent of 1.8 million illegal aliens a year, is no longer constitutes a crisis, is no longer detrimental, that is de facto acceptable. And so if President Trump wanted to come back in and try to shut down the border with a 212F, I think that you would have open borders groups that would go to go to court immediately and try to block that. So you're actually limiting the very powerful tools that are in the law today by creating these new authorities.
We're speaking with Rob Law. He's the director of the Center for Homeland Security and Immigration at the America First Policy Institute. Now, you have a particular set of skills and knowledge and expertise when it comes to policy because you've done this. You were the chief of policy at the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services within the Trump administration. So you've got a couple things here that I really want to tap into: actual policy experience and working with Donald Trump and the Donald Trump administration. What do voters, and I'm talking about people like, I don't know if you saw 50 Cent came out and said I know the New York Post reporter, I think he said on Twitter, about the $53 million that New York City is going to invest in prepaid credit cards to immigrants so that they can get the things that they need. And these immigrants who beat these cops in New York City came out and then flipped the double bird to all of America and all of the taxpayers who are funding this no cash bail system. I mean, a lot of people out there having had enough, and people like 50 Cent are out there having public commentary about it. Elon Musk has certainly said a lot about the immigration issues. We are seeing people who don't normally comment on issues specifically like this immigration one paying attention. Talk to me about policy. Should Donald Trump be elected or a Republican be elected? The America First Policy Institute advocacy here for what really can happen and should happen with the problem at the border.
Sure. Well, like I said, as long as this terrible Senate bill does not become law, there's already existing authority to get the job done, to secure the border right away. And rightfully so. American people, every state has been turned into a border state because of the open border policies of Joe Biden over the last 3 years. And so instead of taxpayer dollars going to fund the lifestyle of illegal aliens here, you would put in place proven policies like remain in Mexico, and you would actually allow ICE to do their job. ICE is our immigration enforcement guys on the inside of the country. Right now, they've basically been chained to their desk, told they can barely remove anybody, and it's about 3% of the illegal aliens that have been coming across the border at record numbers that are actually being removed from American communities every year. Just let them start to do their job, and you will start to see that impact. If you cut off all of these incentives, these work permits, all these freebies through these nonprofit groups that basically our taxpayer dollars are being funneled to these groups that are then suing the federal government for the benefit of illegal aliens. And all of those things, President Trump or the next America First president could come in day one, does not need a new piece of legislation from Congress to do all of those. And those are true America First policies right there.
Is there reality? Can we base the response to the people who have already come here in reality that there's actually a catch and deport policy that will have to be put into place and can be manageable in the future once we get that border secure?
So it'll certainly be difficult. It's kind of like the old saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And that's really what you do is you look at the easiest populations to remove. You have almost 1.5 million illegal aliens who have gone through the entire immigration court system, have received what's called a final order of removal, which means they've exhausted all of their opportunities to contest their deportation, and they've still refused to leave. Those are the people that as soon as ICE were to get a hold of them, you can return them. You have criminal aliens currently sitting in federal and state jails. You could go in and remove them as well. And as ICE is able to do their job, and just as they come across illegal aliens and they partner with state and local law enforcement officials, turn them into a force multiplier, welcome their assistance as opposed to rejecting it, which is what Biden has done, you start to show inroads on that front. I'm not going to suggest that the entire illegal alien population can be removed overnight or in even just a matter of months. But right now, what we do know is that ICE is not doing their job. They are not removing people. And when you don't remove people, that encourages more to come. As you start to remove people, some will remove themselves. And then most importantly, the next wave of legal immigration doesn't come because it's just not worth it anymore when you know that there are actually consequences.
Rob Law, one last question before I let you go. I'm here in St. Louis, but I live across the river in Illinois, and we are a sanctuary state. And I know that ICE or the local police are not allowed to contact ICE if they understand the status, the legal status of somebody who they are in conflict with is in question. And this is part of that sanctuary state status that Illinois has. I'm sure other states have varying degrees of sanctuary in many of the blue states around the country. Is that legal? And is there something that needs to be done on a federal level that says that states can't choose to disobey these laws that are in conflict with what is going on at a federal level?
Well, you raise a really important point, which is all of these sanctuary policies are in direct violation of the law. Our immigration system is supposed to be a federal policy, a uniform policy across the entire country. And what these sanctuary cities did, mostly during the Trump administration, when you had a president who actually wanted to enforce the law, was they obstructed the ability to enforce our immigration laws. They bragged about it openly. They welcomed illegal aliens and said and marketed that they will protect you from Donald Trump's, deportations. And then all of a sudden, when Biden opens up the border to basically the entire world and all of their resources get drained, now it's suddenly not as fashionable to be a sanctuary city. So really, if these sanctuary cities wanted to do the right thing, they should terminate those policies because they're already unlawful. And I would hope that the next America First administration would come in, bring those jurisdictions to court the way the Biden administration has challenged Texas for just trying to, maintain some sovereignty, cut off federal funds to sanctuary jurisdictions until they return to compliance with federal law. But they are absolutely violating the law. You don't get to pick and choose which aspects of our immigration laws you get to follow.
I'm so glad you explained that because it's very frustrating to see as an Illinoisan myself, Governor J.B. Pritzker complaining about Texas not handling their business when he was very willfully politically inviting this problem onto our doorsteps as taxpayers when Donald Trump was president. What a great way to explain it. We appreciate that. Thank you for being with us today. We look forward to having you back. This issue's not going anywhere. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Of course. Bye-bye. Robert Law, Director of the Center for Homeland Security and Immigration at America First Policy Institute, former Chief of Policy at the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services within the Department of Homeland Security for the Trump administration. Check out AmericaFirstPolicy.com. Lots of great stuff there. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have a discussion a little bit more on this. Which issue will most greatly affect the outcome of the November 2024 election? That's the YouTube live chat poll for today. We want to know what you think. Let's see here. Dean on YouTube says border and economy are both huge. While media is flooding everyone with border crisis, the economy is felt personally by more people. Bob said, I voted the economy. People always vote with their wallets. What do you think? Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, vote, leave a comment. We'll be right back.
Now y'all run along and have some fun.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I've been looking a little bit online at what houses are available on the Illinois side of the river, and it seems as though the market's getting a little busier. And if you are looking to sell your home, now is a great time to list it. But you don't want to just list that home with anybody. You want to make a really smart choice so that you get it right the first time. Jen Teske, Teske, Jen Teske with RE/MAX Alliance is your girl. 618-541-1010, 618-541-1010. She knows the Illinois market. She knows how to get your house sold for the expectation that you will be able to sit down with her. She'll be very upfront and honest with you. She will help you and her team. What a team. These are wonderful people. And they are going to position your home in a way that's going to shine. You're going to be able to find all the assets, the features of it that you love, and they're going to make it bigger than that so that when it goes to list, when it goes to market, they get the attraction that is needed to get the house sold. If you are looking to buy as well, Jen Teske with RE/MAX Alliance, she's your person. Reach out to her at 618-541-1010. That's 618-541-1010. You can call or text 618-541-1010 or visit her online at jenteskihomes.com.
Have you heard all the talk about energy efficiency as far as gas appliances and electric and heat pumps and eliminating certain furnaces, certain air conditioners, now stoves? If you're in the market for a furnace and air conditioner this year and just want to cut through all the confusion and would like to talk with and discuss what's the differences between the products and just an overall common sense approach to what do you need for your house, what works, what won't work, what fits in your budget, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. That number is 314-293-2600. Again, the only number and an easy one. 314-293-2600 or online bartinman.com. Now that is Bart with a B and Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Hey homeowners, it's time to transform your house into a masterpiece with Lakeside Renovation and Design, your James Hardie siding experts. Picture this, durable, weather-resistant siding that doesn't just protect, but elevates your home's value and curb appeal. James Hardie, the gold standard in siding, installed by the pros at Lakeside. Say goodbye to maintenance headaches and hello to a home that stands the test of time. Ready for a siding upgrade? Lakeside Renovation and Design is your go-to. Visit our showroom or call today. Unleash the potential of your home with James Hardie Siding.
Show your love this Valentine's with exquisite fashion jewelry from Diamonds Direct and save an extra 20%. Now through Valentine's, all fashion favorites at Diamonds Direct are on sale. All earrings, all bracelets, all necklaces, stackable bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and more. Lots of romantic and timeless gifts for under $500. Special financing available too. Don't miss this. An extra 20% savings on all fashion jewelry favorites at Diamonds Direct. Shop in store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
Today's YouTube live chat poll, which issue will most greatly affect the outcome of the November 2024 election? Will it be the economy? Will it be immigration or the border? Will it be abortion? Will it be something else? Jump on the Annie Frey YouTube page and comment and vote. That's where you'll find the poll. And we're probably going to discuss this coming up next, but go ahead and leave your comments and tell us why you voted the way you voted, because we want to hear from you, and we will feature your comments throughout the show. The time is 1:46. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
You could be watching this right now. Tune into the Annie Frey Show live stream. YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Twitch. You know what? Just type in Annie Frey Show live stream. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
I called an old friend thinking that the trouble would wait, but then I jumped right in. A week later returned. I reckon she was only looking for a lover to burn, but I gave her my time for 2 or 3 nights. Then I put it on pause until the moment was right. I went away.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Did you watch the Grammys last night?
I did not.
When was the last time you watched an award show?
Ooh, prior to 2020. I don't know exactly when prior to 2020.
Did you do it on purpose?
No.
So yeah, it's not like you're an award show person.
Like, no. If I come across like an award show and the host is doing a monologue or whatever, then I'll leave it on. And if they're doing a good job, if they're
Ricky
funny,
Gervais.
oh my gosh, I would have watched that and ate up every minute of it, but I didn't catch that one live.
You ever gone back and just rewatched it? It's firier each time you watch it.
My favorite parts are whenever they show the shots of the audience and they are squirming.
There's a really famous Tom Hanks gif, I think, from the Ricky Gervais thing. Who even hosted the Grammys? I don't even know who hosted last night.
Trevor Noah.
Oh yeah. Trevor Noah. Yeah. What is he? I mean, does he still have a show?
No, he was on The Daily Show, and he resigned from The Daily Show. There's speculation that it wasn't really a resignation because the numbers weren't that great.
Jon Stewart's now doing Mondays on The Daily Show.
Yeah, Mondays, and they're trying to revive it. I don't know if it's going to work.
Jon Stewart, it would work. It would work for what it is. Jon Stewart he had such a huge impact on how people consume news. He was the way people consume news. Jon Stewart would also, especially at first, he would hit both sides. He was definitely a bleeding heart lib, but he would call out the left when they were being so obviously ridiculous. Like, I kind of would like to see what Jon Stewart would say in this day and age. Because Jon Stewart today kind of seems like the get off my lawn guy. He kind of seems angry at everything.
Yeah, but if you go back and listen to his podcast that he had on Apple Podcasts, I think he did 20 episodes or something. Was it one episode? I don't remember. He didn't do a lot of episodes. I think it was called The Issue with Jon Stewart. And he was just another left-wing mouthpiece, just parroting everything. He would have...
That's good. That lane's not crowded at all.
Yeah. He would just have random, like, low-level GOP politicians on and just berate them for the whole time. And it didn't stick. It didn't take off. So that's why he's doing The Daily Show again. So
on Mondays.
On Mondays, yeah.
I know Taylor Swift won Album of the Year, which I read on Twitter. It took me a long time to realize what AOTY meant. It means Album of the Year. I didn't speak Grammys Twitter before last night. But there's a lot of frustration out there among some people because of the way she greeted Celine Dion or didn't greet Celine Dion. And I just think anytime there's a night like that, and the only reason I knew that the Grammys were last night is because I crawled in bed and I wasn't quite sleepy. So I looked at Twitter. Oh, the Grammys are on. This is what people are angry about. It's like this entire world exists where people are super passionate about like winning Album of the Year means something to people. It doesn't mean anything to me. I don't even know what the album was that she won for. I couldn't give you the name if I had to, because it's not important to me. That doesn't mean it's not important to people. My perspective on it doesn't mean that it's anybody else's perspective on it. But it is quite interesting to know that I could be nightly involved in or observing people who talk about politics the same way that Grammys people talk about Grammys, or Taylor Swift people talk about Taylor Swift, or Beyonce people talk about Beyonce, Jay-Z people talk about Jay-Z. That when you have a night like that, if it's, tomorrow's the Nevada primary or caucus, one or the other, and it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And people will be on Twitter talking about it. And the people who are bent out of shape one way or the other over what Taylor Swift and Celine Dion did very likely don't care about the fact that Nevada is voting tomorrow. So it's weird to have the same level of passion and interest, like the passion amount can be the same about such very different things, and they don't intersect much. But they're all taking place in the same platform. They're all taking place right there on Twitter, and that's where people go to talk about these things. And when we wring our hands and pull our hair out over, like, how can people not see what's going on at the border? How can people not vote for Donald Trump and see what's going on in the border? And it's because they're mad because Celine Dion and Taylor Swift did something that they weren't supposed to do, or didn't do something they were supposed to do. They're just not paying attention.
Yeah.
You can have your eyes wide open, and the people who we need to persuade aren't even aware that our big deal is going on. It's frustrating, but it's very true. And I would think that we're probably in a pretty significant minority.
Yeah. Well, yeah, whenever you look at the numbers of people that actually even go out and vote, even on a good year, 2020 was an anomaly. But up to that point, you're not getting but 10, 15, 20% of the populace out there even engaging in the election process. And you brought up this story a couple months ago. You said you had a friend. This is like when after Donald Trump had announced, and I think he had been raided by the FBI already and all this other stuff. And your friend goes, "Oh, yeah, you think he's going to run again?" And it's like,
he's running.
He's been running.
Yeah, he's been running for months and months. And that's just the way, it's important to understand that reality, though. Like, that is what is real.
Yeah. Do you think people stay out of politics because it's just too stressful for them?
Yes, they tell me that every day. Who was I having a conversation with just yesterday or the day before? Yeah, it was Saturday at a basketball tournament that I was at, and people were like, what do you think about this? Or I heard that, and it always ends with, I can't take it every day. It's just so much, and it's because those people care.
Mm-hmm.
They care enough to know what's going on, but it is burdensome to watch right now for somebody like me and likely somebody like you listening to the show right now. It's burdensome to watch what Joe Biden is doing to this country and to you every single day. And the flip side of that is hard to understand if you have the same perspective that I do, that when Donald Trump is the president, it is burdensome for those people to wake up every day and watch what they think that Donald Trump is doing to the country. The difference in those two elements, in my mind, from my perspective, is the willfulness for the media to just prop up the Democratic side of the aisle. I was going to say one particular side, but no, let's say it out loud. The status quo media needs the Democrat bureaucracy and political class to stay the same. They can't afford for it to change. I don't understand why. At the end of the day, I see what you're sacrificing, your integrity. At what cost? What was worth your integrity? To not report what's really going on and to not look at the southern border and say, when Joe Biden says, I'm waiting on them to give me the power to do something at the southern border, like, how obvious and easy is it to say, sir, you signed 94 executive orders undoing policies at the border that Donald Trump put in place. And you can put a pin on a piece of paper to see where the graph starts to change in a drastic direction. I mean, we're mathing here. These are numbers. Yeah. This is provable. This isn't like polls shifted drastically when blah, blah, blah. No, these are people who are coming in this country and they want to say F you with double birds walking out of a police station where they didn't have to pay cash bail after they assaulted police officers in our nation's greatest city. You did that. You're doing that. You're not even stopping it. And you want to hang all of that on the Republicans in the House. Why? So that you can win the next political battle? Man, if there isn't a tale as old as freaking time to watch Democrats say, I need to fix this problem. Everybody point at the problem. And I need those people over there, the bad guys, to do their job so that I can do what I need to do so that they can get elected and then not say anything about it for the next 3 years.
No kidding.
Blue city, blue city, blue city, blue city, over and over and over and over again. It's the same problems all the time. They show up when it's election time, and all they do, identify a problem, find someone else to blame, convince the people who are willing to show up in the last 7 minutes that you were willing to pay attention to a hurting community. You go to them and you say, I'll help you. Elect me, I'll help you. Those guys, they hate you. I'll help you. Get them to show up, and you win. Republicans, you want to counter that? You better show up, too. You can't just point at the other guys and say, they're the bad guys. That's what they do. 2 o'clock hour, right around the corner. Don't go away.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-291-1017. 800-291-1017. Again, that's 800-291-1017. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-674-2189 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-674-2189. That's 800-674-2189. What do you have to lose? Call 800-674-2189. Again, 800-674-2189.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
King Charles is fighting cancer. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The palace confirming the British monarch's diagnosis, but not all of the details.
The cancer was discovered during the King's recent hospital treatment for an enlarged prostate. The type of cancer hasn't been revealed. We just know it's not prostate cancer. Neither is Buckingham Palace sharing a prognosis. King Charles has been advised by doctors to pause public-facing duties while he undergoes regular treatments. The palace says the King remains wholly positive and looks forward to returning to duty as soon as possible. We're told the King is sharing his diagnosis to prevent speculation and help public understanding for cancer sufferers around the world.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. King Charles is 75. He's been king for less than 2 years after the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth. President Biden says he's concerned about the king and will be talking with him. The president's in Las Vegas ahead of tomorrow's primaries in Nevada. He's been urging Congress to send a bipartisan security package to his desk, but the Senate proposal is facing some opposition, especially from Republicans, including Montana Senator Steve Daines, a member of GOP leadership.
He writes this on X: I cannot support a bill that doesn't secure the border, provides taxpayer-funded lawyers to illegal immigrants, and gives billions to radical open border groups.
Fox's Aisha Hasni on Capitol Hill. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he doubts the bill meets the criteria to solve the problem. Bipartisan negotiators say it would make a difference, ending catch and release and strengthening asylum rules. Iran proxy groups remain on the attack, targeting U.S. forces in Syria 3 times since Friday, despite a stepped-up U.S. response.
U.S. officials say since Friday evening, the military has been carrying out multiple retaliatory and self-defense strikes against these Iranian-backed militias operating in places like Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. And there's no indication these strikes are going to be stopping anytime soon.
Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, you're up next. Ugh, my throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up?
I'm tired of feeling so bloated.
That used to be me. Then I got this.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right?
Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Get $5 off at alignprobiotics.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Nice to see a little added sunshine going through our Monday afternoon. Plenty of sunshine for the rest of the day. 52 for the high. No question the days are getting longer. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Mid-40s for evening plans. A cold 28 overnight. Tuesday, sunny and 52. Increasing clouds Tuesday night and Wednesday, partly to mostly cloudy. But I think Wednesday is dry and 58 degrees. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The IRS definitely ramped up operations since the pandemic slowed them down, and activity only increases from here. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. If you're currently under audit or you haven't paid your taxes in the past, now's the time to call the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which says you have the right to retain legal representation, because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Lance Story Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Lance Story Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, this is Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. What if it were possible to protect you from market downturns without having to make an emotional decision to buy or sell? What if you could take advantage of a strategy that would automatically take you out of harm's way during the bad years and position you for the growth opportunity during the good years?
The secret is in linking safely to the market without putting your principal at risk. By linking to the market instead of owning the market, you can participate safely on autopilot and lock in your gains without creating a taxable event. Go online at retirementkey.com for a no-obligation retirement review. We'll teach you the strategy that has helped our clients retire with confidence for the past 38 years. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
AAMCO.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Not just right and left, right and wrong. We're discussing it every day on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Our poll for today is which issue will most greatly affect the outcomes of the November 2024 election. Brad, you said immigration and the border.
Yeah, that was my decision. My thoughts are I reserve the right to change as the situation changes, but as it sits right now, I don't see how this isn't the biggest issue that we will face because, like I was saying earlier, people are seeing their own facilities being taken away, and it's affecting people on a real life, at their level basis. And you had mentioned that people who usually when they think about the border, that's something that's far off. It doesn't directly affect them. But now you've got parents in New York whose kids are going remote.
Kind of a fresh issue.
Their kids are going remote because they've got to move migrants into schools to house them. You've got people, I believe it was in Baltimore, where they had to close rec centers and people outside were mad. Well, they're closing our rec centers. And so now the kids can't go to the rec centers and play basketball and all that other fun stuff after school, keep them off the streets, that sort of thing. They're like,
likely community funded.
Yeah. So that's going there. And then you have 50 Cent.
I don't know.
Yeah. I wish I could remember his real name because I would just call him that.
The one that's going to be the YouTube poll question for tomorrow. Is it 50 or 50?
Yeah. So he's complaining because now New York is talking about giving prepaid cards to migrants in the amount of what, $50+ million?
$53 million is the budget.
Folks, that's taxpayer dollars, just cash, not really cash, but cash given over to migrants, to people who aren't even citizens. You've got the police officers getting beat in New York, and then the migrants having the audacity after being released on the zero cash bail policies of New York, flipping everybody off. Like the Democrats by far are saying these people matter to us more than you do.
Yeah, and why is that? Politics. It looks like they're going to have some sort of maybe press conference or something on the New York City police officer beating. So we'll put an ear on that, and when that goes live, I'd like to hear what they have to say about that. So we'll keep that close. But I also want to, since Ryan is out today and we have a little extra time here in the 2:00 hour, I kind of want to give you a voice. If you want to answer normally our YouTube live chat poll, we say go obviously to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and tell us what you think. But if you'd like to call in today, I don't open the phones terribly often, but we can do that today. And if you want to answer this question for me, which issue will most greatly affect the outcome of the November 2024 election? Our options today are the economy, immigration and the border, abortion, or something else. I'd really like to know what you think. So you can call us at 314-241-9797. That's 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. And Leah will take your phone calls and see if there are some people who want to make a comment on the air, and we'll filter through those and maybe have you come on here and tell us why you think what you think about this particular issue. A lot of people are reacting, of course, to the border bill that's been out there right now. And Speaker Johnson commented on the bill that's come out of the Senate that seems to have very little to no support, passable support. But Speaker Johnson reacted to it about their bill that they had already passed in the House.
We passed our bill on border security 9 months ago. It's been sitting on Chuck Schumer's desk collecting dust ever since. The H.R. 2, which is our signature bill right out of the beginning, right out of the blocks for the House Republican Conference and our Republican majority, would have solved this problem. We would resolve the broken asylum system and the broken parole system. We would reinstitute Remain in Mexico, which would stem the flow by probably 70%. We would end the catch and release, the mass releases of illegals into our country that's happened. This border is out of control. All these problems have mounted, and the Senate has been dithering ever since. We cannot wait anymore. The reason we are going to send the new Israel package over is because the time is urgent, and we have to take care of that responsibility.
In the political back and forth that goes on with anything that has to do with, passing bills and legislation, certainly we have not created a system. Our founding fathers didn't create a system that would be super quick and fast. It moves at a glacial pace on purpose because that's a limitation on your overlord's ability to overlord you, because you're the supreme power. The Constitution is, in fact, the supreme power in this country, and the government is supposed to serve the people. And that limitation causes the government process to slow down, legislation to slow down, and it makes it so that we can not have people get in there and just snapping through a whole bunch of legislation that's going to effectively overrule your life. That's not something that they wanted to have happen. So it does move at a slow pace. When Joe Biden is saying, give me the power, and asking the Republicans in Congress to provide him the power, the Republicans can say, A, you have the power. You don't need us to do a darn thing with your executive order. You executive ordered 94 times in the first 100 days in order to undo everything that Trump did on the border. Put it back the way you found it, Mr. President. But in addition to that, the Republicans have passed something. It is on Chuck Schumer's desk, and that they could take that bill up and they could vote on that. So that's the ping pong ball that goes back and forth, which is what drives people like you crazy, because you don't have time to just sit around and stand up and make a really bold statement of blaming someone else and sit down and then be like, that was a really hard day's work. Let's get to some phone calls here. 314-241-9797. You give us a call and tell us what you think on this YouTube live chat poll. Which issue will most greatly affect the outcome of the November 2024 election? Let's start with Rich. Rich, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show. What do you think?
You and Brad, I think it's definitely immigration, but with the way the inflation is and the prices of everything going up, there's a lot of people that don't have the wherewithal to afford all these new prices, and us being retired, it's kind of the same story. But he's causing his own problems. He's going to get knocked out of office.
You think Joe Biden's going to lose on this issue?
Oh yeah, I'm surprised there hasn't been a lot of stuff. I mean, it's been going on for 3 years.
Yeah.
So all the other channels that never bring up anything that he does. They can't bring up anything that's good. So
they always talk about Trump. It always comes back to Trump, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Rich, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate you for calling in here. Let's get to Stuart. Thanks for calling the show. Stuart, what do you think the biggest issue will be affecting the November 2024 outcome?
Yes, ma'am, I believe it is immigration, and I do not understand why nobody is throwing the T word around, traitor, because I believe Mr. Biden is a traitor to this country. He has not fulfilled his oath of office at all. He's ignored it entirely. And number two, I don't understand why nobody seems to talk about and hold into account the leaders of these other nations, especially the Latin nations, where these other people are coming from. Why don't we hold them accountable?
Yeah.
That's it in a nutshell.
Thank you so much for the call, Stuart. I appreciate it. I don't, we had the border czar, Kamala Harris. She went down to talk to those countries and she said, don't come. And that was it. That's the sum total of what she has done on this border issue. And then when people were asking her, like, have you been to the border? She's like, I haven't been to a lot of places. That's something that like a petulant preteen says. And when they say it, you just send them to your room because you can't even deal with the stupid anymore because you're about to snap when they say things like that and insult your intelligence in such a ridiculous way. Mandy, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show. What do you think, Mandy?
My concern is election integrity. In 2020, there was a lot of questions, and I'm very concerned that there hasn't anything has been done since then.
Yeah, I've said this on this show, and I repeat it. Republicans and Democrats alike question the results of the election when their candidate loses. Hillary Clinton, they did not handle that well. And then in 2020, a lot of people had a lot of reasons to look at an election that was held in a way that we have never held elections before due to COVID. And then, of course, a lot of the allegations from the Trump administration about how ballots were counted. I mean, how many people do you know are going to just accept the results of the election should their candidate be the one who does not win?
Correct.
I think that is a big issue. And I suppose in that regard too, that would greatly affect the outcome of the November election. Brad, do you feel, I'm skeptical about all of it.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why Hillary could be skeptical, why they could be skeptical in elections before that, on the Democrat side and the Republican side, how I could go like, is this above board? Are the way that we've changed our election laws so that we can collect ballots for months and months beforehand, is this the way to keep a republic?
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, to your point, I don't understand why it was okay for Hillary to question the results of the election. Her line was Russia. Russia interfered in the election. That was what she said. I remember the hanging Chads thing. Was that 2000?
2000, yeah.
You know, went to the
Did you get to vote in that election?
I did not. No, I didn't turn 18 until 2001.
Okay.
So all of that, I remember talking about it in my government class in high school.
Mm-hmm.
We discussed it. That went up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court made a decision and all of that other stuff. And it was completely okay. I remember watching a montage in 2016 of Democrats challenging the results and didn't have a senator to back them on that. They're in the thing, and it was Joe Biden banging the gavel. Do you have a senator? No. Bang. It's gone, over and over and over again. They
point.
did the exact same thing, and that's what Donald Trump wanted to do, except for whenever Donald Trump had the challenge to it, there was House members and there were senators that were willing to back it, and there's a constitutional process for that. Unfortunately, people broke into the Capitol. But
Isn't it interesting that the January 6th events actually stopped the thing that the Democrats accused Trump of effectively doing? Had the storming of the Capitol not taken place, the challenge to the election results would have gone a lot further than it did. Just ponder anew on that one. Okay, let's go to Lori. Lori, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. Which issue will most greatly affect the outcome of the November 2024 election in your mind?
Well, I think it's a toss-up, actually, between economy and immigration. People want to say how great Bionomics is doing and so forth, but yet there are several businesses that have had to fire or lay off their workers because they lost profits last year due to this Bionomics that's supposed to be so great.
That's a really good point, Lori. Thank you for making it, because we are seeing layoffs. Was it UPS recently just did some layoffs? We've seen other ones. UPS is the one that's the closest to front of mind. We didn't connect with Steve Moore today, but there are concerns about balancing if wages have come up but jobs start to taper off a little bit. Will there be a sustaining positive outlook on the economy where the positives do exist? Because there are places that the economy does see positives, but there are a lot of other things that are not making them feel as comfortable about the direction that this is heading. The Fed chair, Jerome Powell, and his reasoning last week on Wednesday why they decided to keep rates right where they were and not lower them now. Libby, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show. Your thoughts on the issue that will most greatly affect the outcome of the election?
Hey, Annie. Yeah, I'm actually excited that people are seeing the border as an issue finally, and I think that the fact that Biden brought up this opportunity to have this as a concern that he brought up on his own, obviously, the people actually taking a look at it. But yeah, that's definitely an issue. I am concerned about the border, and I think the amount of people that are coming in are an issue with our security. There's so many, it's a multifaceted thing. People coming in, we have no idea who's coming in, all those things. That's my biggest concern.
I agree with you too, Libby. Thank you for the phone call. I agree with you that it's nice to see, nice in a really unfortunate, nice kind of way that people are like, yeah, this is actually a really big deal. And it doesn't seem like it's a complete and total partisan position to take, that people are going, we can't continue to sustain this amount of people coming into this country and living this way. Paul, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. What do you think the biggest issue is?
Yes, I believe the biggest issue is the immigration, because it affects the economic world for our country. And if I can take a second to try and explain myself.
Sure, go ahead.
The credit cards that they're handing out for $1,000 a piece, which adds up, I believe, $53 million right now.
Right.
I used to work with a bunch of people from south of the border years ago. They took care of irrigation. 10 or 12 of them would live in a house together. Whatever money they made, they sent back home to help support their family back in the early 90s. That was the situation, at least the way I understood it. Now, they're taking our money that we are giving them, thank you very much, Joe Biden, and send it back home to have more people come up and collect more money to send back home and get more people to come across the border.
Yeah.
If you fix the immigration, you will fix the economy. It may take a little bit, and we might have to take a little bit of a bigger bite out of our pocket to get them sent back home, but that's how I feel.
Thank you, Paul, for the phone call. You're right. I do think that the economic peril that we are going to find ourselves downstream due to this issue, people need to start paying attention to that. And when you start seeing those $53 million figures coming out of New York City from Mayor Adams, and he's telling people, I think he came out and he said, this is going to save our city $7 million. It's like, that is something. One last one before we take a break here. Lisa, thanks for calling the show. What do you think? Biggest issue?
Hi, I think I love your show.
Thank you, Lisa. I love you. Thank you.
But I for sure think that everything revolves around the border problem and the illegal immigration. We have more crime committed by illegal immigrants. We have people who broke the law in the first place. We're spending all this money to house, feed, medical treatment, all this stuff for these people. And the people that are in this country legally aren't getting what they need. And they're kicking people out of schools. They're kicking them out of, like you were just saying, and I totally agree with Paul, that economically, this is going to really be, there is so much money spent on that the finances, the crime, I just feel like all the things currently going wrong here, I feel like can all have some way, shape, or form be traced back to the illegal immigration and the border.
Oh, Lisa, well said. Thank you for the phone call. Thanks for listening to the show, too. We appreciate you.
Thanks.
Of course. Bye-bye. I appreciate each and every one of you that spend some time listening and hanging out with us in the afternoon. I truly do. It means the world to me when I get to meet you and say hi and get to talk to you like we did a little bit today. Depending on Ryan Wiggins and how he feels, we might take some more phone calls. I'm still dealing with it. Brad, you've been fighting it.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. Man, I did bring in the Lysol last week, but I had so much Lysol in my house the day before I got sick. I'm like, maybe it's the Lysol problem. I don't know. Just trying to push through it. I know everybody's dealing with these particular issues. Sickness is abounding, so take care of yourself. Thank you for spending your time with us, and we'll get to the results of the YouTube live chat poll at about 2:55. Did we about 1,000 on callers saying immigration? I think we did.
Yeah.
I think we did.
We had the one person talk, what was it? Voter suppression.
Oh, that's true. The idea of election integrity, we'll put it that way. Keep them coming if you want to leave us your thoughts on the Annie Frey YouTube live chat. We'll get to those as well. A quick break, more Annie Frey Show in just a few minutes.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
How exciting it is when you're a grown person and you get to make a huge renovation in your house. For me, it's like if you have to pursue that big renovation because something bad happened, then you got to get over the bad part to where you go, hey, we get new flooring out of this. Maybe you've just worn the carpeting in your house down and it's just time. As soon as you start to go feel and touch and experience the beautiful displays at Michael's Flooring Outlet on that flooring that you're going to install in your home, and you start to get excited about the different opportunities and possibilities that will exist with all the different kinds of flooring that they have at Michael's Flooring Outlet, then it starts to get really exciting, especially when pairing yourself and your flooring need with Michael's Flooring Outlet, which is a St. Louis-owned business, a family-owned and operated business. You are going to realize that the value of your dollar is going to stretch as far as it possibly can at Michael's Flooring Outlet without having to sacrifice an ounce of quality. That's what it's all about, right? So if you're looking for a flooring renovation in your home, in your office, maybe your church is looking to do something, or maybe you're an office manager and you make those decisions or have to make those phone calls and get those quotes, trust me, don't look over Michael's Flooring Outlet in your shopping expedition for flooring. They will help you every step of the way. Michael's Flooring Outlet, online at igotfloored.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
It all comes down to this. Super Bowl 58. Listen live from Westwood One on the free Odyssey app. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Takes the snap, darts a pass near side, caught by Kelsey, wrapped to the ground at the 12.
And the San Francisco 49ers.
With a comeback for the ages, the 49ers are going back to the Super Bowl.
Wherever you are this Sunday, stream Super Bowl 58 with Westwood One on the free Odyssey app. Download it today and search Super Bowl. AUDACY.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. Odyssey.com is a universe of audio, and it's where you can download the app to stream 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it today and stream anytime from anywhere.
Where St. Louis comes to talk.
97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. All right, let's talk a little bit about fundraising. This is funny because Brad's always getting asked things. I don't know if I ask you for everything that my kids are doing, just things I think you'd be interested in.
Yeah, I don't know, because I mean, you ask me about stuff, and I don't know what you don't ask me about. So
I will very much so pick and choose what I throw my energy and time behind.
I know you make your son call me and ask, which is good parenting. I think that's good for him.
Hold that thought. Here's a Miss Manners. I love Miss Manners. Dear Miss Manners, please help me politely decline when asked to purchase things for a children's fundraiser. So if we go through this and then you use this tactic against me, I'm going to take that hint pretty. You should just tell me right now in front of everybody. Annie, knock it off. While I certainly have no objection to helping a good cause, it is irksome when adult friends call me expecting a purchase on behalf of grandchildren I don't even know. They pressure all their friends to make significant purchases while the kids get no lesson or, quote, entrepreneurial experience. I'm actually glad you just said that before I read this. Please help with an inoffensive reply. So, okay, what was it, a trivia night that we're doing?
Yeah.
That I asked you recently?
Yeah.
So, my son is going to Washington, D.C., 8th grade class trip. I'm going to go with him. Hold your hats. It's going to be crazy. And so we're raising money for his 8th grade trip. It's going to be, I think, in May. And you got to raise funds. You got to do it. My kid goes to a Lutheran school, but I don't think if you go to a public school, I mean, that's not publicly funded.
No, you've got to raise funds for that too.
You have to do it.
Yeah, they usually do like a candy bar sale or something.
Or write a check.
Yeah.
For your whatever. So we're raising money for it. I'm hosting with my husband. We are going to host a trivia night. Like different parents are throwing in with whatever they feel they're adequately supportive of and can handle. Mm-hmm. I've hosted trivia nights before. My husband and I have written questions for trivia nights before. We can do it. It's low to no overhead depending on how you do it. And the people who participate, generally speaking, are there for the cause.
Mm-hmm.
There are also people who are like trivia night hawks.
Yeah.
You know those people because
yeah.
you're married to a teacher.
Yes.
Because they're teachers.
Well, so this is funny. O'Fallon used to do a robotics trivia night, and there were 2 teachers' tables that would always compete to try to win this trivia night. And it got so competitive that one of the teams that I was a part of actually went to another trivia night to practice and get warmed up for the O'Fallon one. We went there, and there was a trivia night Hawks teams that just went out there to win trivia nights.
Yeah.
And we beat them, and they were mad. Like,
what a subculture.
It was so crazy. Because, like, are you getting a picture of what you think these people would look like?
I mean, I love trivia nights. I think they're fun. But I know exactly the table.
And this table looked exactly like what you thought it would.
They're always the best. They're the smartest teachers. You show up and you're like, I'm not going to win. I want to win the non-teacher prize. I want to win, I don't know. So my husband and I write the questions, and it's a very stressful thing to do because you want people to have a good time.
Yeah.
If you've ever been to a trivia night where you sit down and you're like, okay, yeah, I'll go support the cause, whatever the cause is, happy to come participate, fun Friday night, sit with your friends, eat some food, have some drinks. And it's like, welcome to trivia night. It's all Harry Potter. And you're like, holy crap, I've never seen one of them. It's a nightmare and it's not fun. So you got to try to figure out how to make it fun for everyone. So in this example, along with Miss Manners here, the idea that you were raising money, there's nothing wrong with people raising money. But there also has to be nothing wrong with people saying no when they're asked if they want to spend the money on the thing that you're selling to raise said money.
Yeah. When you read that question, I was like, ooh, I think I see a problem in there. Because when she asked the question, she used the word expected. And to me, whenever I'm raising money or whenever I'm doing anything, if I ask somebody, never in my wildest dreams do I have any expectations that I expect somebody to give money to this. I'm just asking if you have it, if you're available, I would greatly appreciate it. If not, no big deal. No worries, no hard feelings, nothing like that. That a lot of times I think maybe the pressure is self-imposed on people. Like, I feel like I should donate to this. But it's not really the case that the people asking have the expectation and like, I'm going to, maybe there are some out there, but I'm going to hate you forever if you don't donate to my kids, whatever.
It's you have to take into consider frequency. So another fundraiser that I help my kid with is a March Madness bracket. But that's like one where I will take that to people who I know like to do brackets. And then you win money.
Yeah.
Like it's a pool. So you get, like, we give out 50% of the money in that bracket. But I also don't ask people. You have to have 2 things. One, a willingness to participate in the fundraiser. So if you're selling balloons, it has to be somebody who's like not opposed to a balloon. But it also has to be somebody who understands that the donation that they're making is going to go help something that I know that they would care enough to consider making that donation. And there are not that many people who care that much about your fundraiser. Like that's the thing. Like nobody is obligated to support your fundraiser.
Right.
Nobody is obligated to buy your trinket or your pizza or your ice cream or go eat at the pizza place during the fundraiser or whatever. But there might be people who eat pizza on Tuesday nights, and if you put it up on there and you're like, oh, hey, if you want to grab dinner on the way home at this particular restaurant, 10% goes to the DC trip, then people might go, like, if I saw that and it was an acquaintance of somebody who I knew who maybe went to a different school, but I knew I was going to get pizza, instead of going to pizza place A, I might go to pizza place B and say 10% go to that. I might participate in that.
Yeah.
So it's all about, like, what are you getting out of the fundraiser? But then also, if you're asking somebody head to head, would you consider supporting this? You have to know that the person on the other end really wants to support the thing that is being fundraised for. And in this instance, it's usually my kid. So the trivia night thing, that's something that you get. You ask people who like trivia.
Yeah.
And they might not even really care what the cause is particularly. But what do you do when somebody is asking you to raise funds? And you said this at the beginning, when my son's in school right now, so he doesn't know this. I like pre-screen for him. Whether it's a yes or a no, like I message Brad, I'm like, hey, we're doing a trivia night. I usually try to overcompensate, like no big deal if you don't want to.
For sure.
But if you would like to go, I would like to have my son call you on the phone or do a video call, depends on the thing, and ask you to come. He better be in school right now. He doesn't know that I've pre-screened all of those. And I have had him call people like siblings who can't make it and who end up telling him no. So he hears no, but this doesn't happen as much. And sometimes they'll make a donation. Did you hear the Alyssa Milano?
I heard the story. I know about the story.
This is from USA Today. Alyssa Milano is not backing down after people criticized her for requesting donations for her son's baseball team. She put out this tweet. I saw the tweet in the wild before it became, and my jaw dropped because I am a speck of the celebrity that Alyssa Milano is. Like, this is not even comparable whatsoever. But I don't feel right asking people to give my family money if they have some sort of understanding or misunderstanding about the comparative of our incomes, if that makes sense. Alyssa Milano from Who's the Boss and Charmed. The actress took to Instagram Thursday to again defend the move and called out trolls for being hurtful. Quote, every parent raises money for their child's sports teams, and many of them do so through GoFundMe. I am no different. As much as I'd love to pay for the entire team and their families for travel, transportation, hotel, food and beverage, uniforms, trading pins, and all the things teams do for this kind of trip, I cannot afford to do so. Maybe someday. I looked it up. It says she's worth $10 million. I don't think that that's outrageous. That seems like that should be on point. It's funny because $10 million in California.
Like, that is good.
You're not hurting. Alyssa Milano put on Twitter, she created a GoFundMe. They were trying to raise $10,000 for her son's baseball team, who is like 13 or something. It's like the same age as Charlie. $10,000 so they could take a trip. I think it was to Cooperstown. Is that outrageous for Alyssa Milano to be putting up? Because here's what happened. Alyssa Milano is a millionaire, right?
Right.
The reason she put it out on her Twitter account is because she has the following.
Right.
She has the access to the biggest pool of people. I cannot imagine with my massive 18,000 person following on Twitter, if I put a GoFundMe out there for people to donate to my son's baseball team or even the Washington, D.C. trip, like, is that... I have like secondhand embarrassment for her, but she's clearly not worried about it.
Man, I don't know. I'm the kind of person, if I had $10 million and it's $10,000 to send an entire baseball team to Cooperstown and I had the $10,000, I would just be like, here, go. This one's on me. Have fun. I'm not going to put it on my Twitter and ask other people to fund it. But, I mean, if she wants to teach her kid how to, try to earn that money or raise that money himself, great. Your mom's Twitter isn't how you do that either.
No. You just pop up a GoFundMe and then ask people to... It bothers me so much. And I'm bothered. I'm like, every time I'm asking somebody else to support something for my kids, I always make my kids make the sell. But I will also, I feel like I owe it to like even grandmas and grandpas to be like, hey, they're going to ask you if you want to buy some of this. If they want to tell me, if grandma and grandpa want off the hook to not have to buy widgets that they don't want, I'm just going to keep my kids from putting them in the position where grandma and grandpa have to say no out of a courtesy to my parents and my in-laws. It's fundraising has to be an experience for the kid, right?
Yeah. I remember growing up, one of the things we had to do, because I went to a Catholic school until about 7th grade, we had to raise money. They'd do a fundraiser. I don't really ever know that they told us what the fundraiser was for, so I assume it was for the school, or I wasn't paying attention. Both are equally likely. Actually, probably that second one's more likely than this first one. But they would give us these chocolate bars, and we had to go and we had to sell these chocolate bars to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to sell the chocolate bars. But then, they had, different levels. If you sold so many chocolate bars, you achieved this reward level. And if you achieved that reward level. And this is going to sound really stupid. Do you remember those little eagles that would bounce on the beak and they had the wings that came out? I wanted one of those so bad. And that one time I worked really hard and I earned that. But then my other friend got one, and all my other friend did was he gave the candy bars to his parents who took it to work with them.
Yeah.
And they sold them at their work. And I felt like this is bull crap.
Yeah.
You know, because my dad didn't work at a job where he could just sell candy bars for me. And I earned mine. And this person in my brain, they just kind of was given this eagle.
Yeah, I remember selling things when I was a kid. We sold magazines. I think that we sold wrapping paper, but I never really participated in that.
Yeah.
I was a Girl Scout for a very small amount of time. It's like I have like blacked out part of that part of my life. I don't know why I didn't like Girl Scouts, but I did not. But I was really good at cookie sales.
Yeah.
I would get on my bike with my card and a couple pencils, and this is what we did, children, back in the day.
It's wild, right?
I just got on my bike and I left home for an undisclosed period of time. Probably tried to get home before the sun came down. And then I would go door to door. And then sometimes they'd invite me in to sit at their kitchen table. And I would go in their house and sit down and they'd order cookies. And I was top seller or maybe the second top seller, depending on the year. But that's the way it used to go. Like mom and dad that seems so outrageous right now. It was always in our neighborhood and around the neighborhood. But it was on me. Mm-hmm. And, you know, maybe I think I could see an instance where maybe my parents might have taken some candy bars to work from time to time. But it's just like there has to be a skill involved in the fundraising process for the child. Otherwise, you're just, as an adult, I would rather just give you the money. Mm-hmm. Like and if you're saying here's a box of candy bars, if you sell this box, you should have $50 when you're done. Keep the candy bars. Can I just put $50 towards the cause and forget the overhead that comes with the candy bars, which is what I've had, family who wants to support. Like, what are you trying to raise money for? I don't need the thing or the widget or the experience. Can I just make a donation?
Yeah.
And a lot of times that goes further as well. The response from Miss Manners to this woman about not wanting to support their friends' grandkids whose they've never met fundraisers. This is what Miss Manners replied here. Gentle reader, either, quote, I'll have half a dozen of those, or, quote, thank you, no, depending on whether or not you want the product. Miss Manners is all for teaching children about business, just not that they can unload their selling jobs on others, nor that they can use social pressure to force people to buy things they do not want.
Yeah, simple. No, thank you.
I got to go. On the break, I'm going to check and see if Alyssa Milano's fundraiser got to $10,000. I'm going to have her do one for my kids' baseball team. You want to support the Red Wings? Huh? No? Huh? Sure? It's ridiculous. All right, let's get the results to the YouTube live chat poll when we come back. Which issue will most greatly affect the outcome of the November 2024 election? The economy, immigration / the border, abortion, or something else? We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Stewart's American Mortgage is the home of the bagel loan, and you are a phone call or a text message away right now from all the details that you need about how a bagel loan can help you. Just reach out to Stewie. That's his direct line, 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. He's waiting for you. Mention the Annie Frey Show when you call. You're going to go get great access to Stewie, who does business the old-fashioned way in the mortgage lending business. It's nice to be able to know that 314-324-4440 number goes straight to Stewie, and you're going to work with Stewie. He makes sure that the bagel loan is as accessible as it possibly can be, which means that you aren't going to pay any closing costs when you qualify for that bagel loan. You get your mortgage and you get a bagel loan, you don't pay any closing costs. If you want to do a refinance, you can use the bagel loan as well for that. Get yourself a lower rate. If you have gotten your mortgage in the last year or so, those rates were sky high, 7% and higher. You can secure yourself a lower rate right now. It's not going to cost you anything. Reach out to Stewie at 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income, every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor. an indexed annuity tied to growth in the stock market, but without any risk of loss ever. It's guaranteed money for life income, no matter how long you live. Call 888-509-2228. 888-509-2228. Sponsored by GP Agency, Inc., Raleigh, North Carolina. Licensed in all states. Performance may vary. Consult with your financial professional before making an investment decision.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At Lakeside Renovation and Design, our secret sauce isn't just the tools we use or the materials we choose. It's our people. We're not just builders. We're local craftsmen, highly skilled in our trades. Our team takes immense pride in transforming homeowners' visions into reality. We're not just in the business of remodeling. We're in the business of making homes more beautiful, comfortable, and valuable. What sets us apart? Integrity and honesty. Our craftsmen exceed expectations because we care. Lakeside, where every nail, every cut, every detail is a testament to our commitment to you.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
All right, today's YouTube live chat poll. Which issue will most greatly affect the outcome of the November 2024 elections? We took calls on this earlier at 2:05, so if you want to listen to that, go ahead and get the Odyssey app and rewind to that. But our options are economy, immigration, border, abortion, or something else. And if you're voting something else, we want to know what that something else is. So you're going to jump on the Annie Frey YouTube page. That's where you can vote in this poll, and that's also where you can tell us what you're voting for and why you're voting the way you're voting. So if it's something else, it's required. Sorry, kids, homework. You got to jump in the chat and tell us what the something else is. So that's which issue will most greatly affect the outcome of the November 2024 election. The time is 2:49. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. Happy Monday. We got a crappy border bill from the Senate that is DOA in the House. We'll break that down. Also, the Hall of Famer is back in the studio today. Fred's back. It's all coming up after 3.
I had to escape. The city was sticky and cruel. Maybe I should have called you first, but I was dying to get to you. I was dreaming while I drove the long straight road ahead. Yeah. Could taste your sweet kisses, your arms open
This
wide.
is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
Celine Dion remade this song. This is Roy Orbison, I believe. I like the Celine Dion version.
Our music interests are pretty similar, but every now and then there's a song that goes in the bump music. I'm like,
You don't know the song?
I don't know this one at all. Like, I recognize Roy Orbison, but
It's a great song for Celine Dion because it's just this big song, and she does what she does with it. Did you see any of the Grammy reaction? I didn't actually. I saw a lot of people complaining about Taylor Swift snubbing Celine Dion, and then I also saw, following that, so many tweets about all the other times Taylor Swift has hugged Celine Dion. In our completely uninformed, non-objective, non-subjective, just like we're just dipping in, peeking in the door and going, whoa, and then closing the door real quick and getting out of there. Do people unnecessarily pick on Taylor Swift because she's super successful?
yes.
I think they do.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor Swift, like, the only thing Taylor Swift that she has ever done that irritated me was the Marsha Blackburn thing.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of one thing, and it's not that big of a deal to me because Marsha Blackburn won and Taylor Swift didn't move mountains like she thought she would. But outside of that, I mean, she's just a singer and she seems like a pretty nice person. I think people just get mad at her because she's easy to hate.
I don't know what to do. I usually have an idea what to do. I'm frozen here. Because if people are talking about Taylor Swift is winning, first and foremost. I have nothing invested in her winning or losing. Either way, don't care. I like her music. I am super impressed at the businesswoman that she is and how she has beaten the system. I am cheering for that. But I am so invested, and I hope that my generation is with me on this. And I'm a millennial. I'm an old millennial, but I think this is kind of a Gen X kind of way of going about things. I hope it's a millennial take on things. We got to get back to being able to appreciate, especially when it comes to art, being able to appreciate art for being good and not requiring so much of these people that are there. I'm like, okay, you write and sing and perform great pop music. That's what good you are to me. And you're really great at it. That's where my interest extends and ends.
Yeah.
I don't really care about all the other things. And social media makes it so that everybody can be some sort of social justice warrior and whatever. And there's a lot of pressure on celebrities to weigh in on all these issues. But why not just always say, no, I sing or I act or I play baseball or I, do whatever it is I do. Like you would win so many more people if you would just say, I'm not weighing in on that. And that's not what people have been doing, but maybe they could go more into it.
Yeah. I'm curious about that because I let me throw a different option out there to you. If I were in that position, I don't know if I could not be political because what you guys hear from me on the air is what you get with me.
But that's what you do.
But that's what I do. But I was like this before I did this. I was passionate about these things before I did this. And I'm wondering if my job took me to a level of fame where not necessarily that I would be like out there at the forefront pushing it, but if somebody asked me about it, I'd be like, oh yeah, this is why it's garbage and blah, 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 blah. Are we assuming that it's not organic, that she feels pressured to do this, or does she actually have some passion toward this? And
I think my estimation of what I know from her, and I can confidently say I think I know more about Taylor Swift than you do.
Go for it.
Yeah, I don't think you're offended by that.
No argument here.
But I know I don't know as much about Taylor Swift as, say, Leah does, because Leah's a super fan and has been to the concerts. But she has very strong statements in her art about the LGBTQ community. Okay. All right. That's different than coming out and saying Marsha Blackburn sucks, which is not what she said, but she might as well have. I mean, you can have artistic statements and you can be you're a unique individual, but I don't. The third Michael Jordan reference for the day, Joe Concha at 12:25 brought us several. Republicans buy shoes too. That is a smart mentality that wins in capitalism. And that's what we are here. And I don't need Taylor Swift to be a right-wing conservative for me. It doesn't do any difference to me. I just need her to put out another album. Would she finally get to it? Oh, yeah, she announced it last night when she was winning Album of the Year. I also heard that. I just would be okay if movie companies would make great movies and music production companies would make great music and basketball teams would play great basketball and we would just get back to that. Can I dream?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Let's not lecture people anymore.
And honestly, good point. To that, if somebody asks you a pointed question and you have an opinion on it, can people just give the opinion for themselves and not go out and tell everybody else because your opinion's no more valuable than anybody else's. It might have a further reach, but it's not more important. Not at least in this country, at least for this amount of time. Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll, which issue will most greatly affect the outcome of the November 2024 election? 5% said something else, so we'll just set that aside. 20% said abortion, so 1/5 of you said abortion. 1/4 of you, 25% said economy, and 50% on the nose said immigration and the border. And we had 264 votes in today's poll. Ooh. That's a lot. That's a high one. I always like to get to 300, maybe tomorrow. Stick around. The Mark Reardon Show's coming up. They're going to have all the latest news for you and reaction that you come to expect from your station, your family here. And we appreciate you on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, there's a very good chance as you've driven down your street, you have admired houses in your neighborhood that have been covered in Rhino Shield, and you don't even know it. Except if you pay close attention, you'll notice that they're not being repainted every couple of years. What I mean is same bright, vivid colors that you would choose with regular paint, except that Rhino Shield lasts, and you're going to get a 25-year warranty with it. I've got it on my house, and I mean it. It looks like it did the day they put it on. It lasts and lasts. It's lab tested to last that long against chipping or peeling or cracking. And they put this on businesses as well. Condo units from Springfield, Illinois, all the way down to the Lake of the Ozarks. You can find it. And my friend Darren will be happy to come over and give you a free evaluation of your home. All you have to do is call him. Tell him you heard Mark Cox talking about it. 877-25-RHINO or online at 877-25rhino.com.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT.